Coming to you live, ordinary men.
I don't think I can stop that.
Nope.
It stopped.
Hello?
What's that say?
Oh, sorry. Elevators
A
aren't
side
real.
table.
Mm-hmm.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another evening of D&D. We are NotGreatRPG and we are here once again for the City of Oshuamp. Last time we had a great time, and gonna have a great time again. So we'll go around the table, introduce ourselves, and then have a brief recap, and then pick up where we left off exactly 1 week ago, to the minute, probably. As always, I am Don, and I'll be playing Ether Revia, the Grave Domain Cleric, this evening.
I'm Zonky Kong, and I have something very important to tell you. Whatever Paul says, don't believe him.
You held that for a long time. I'm Paul. I play Felix Gray, the Mystic. True. 13th class. True. Meta-terminus.
What?
Meta-terminus.
All lies.
Okay. I died quite a bit in the last few days.
True.
My character, also me, just on the inside. I'm glad and I play Vorst.
I'm Chell. I play Thariel. I'll also be playing bass in the Credence Clearwater Revival Band Tribute Group.
Thank you.
I'm Sarah. I play Ritora, and I don't remember most of the epiphanies that I was on the verge of last week, so we're starting.
Didn't you take notes?
I did,
No!
but I feel like...
Yeah, but the biggest one says fog.
Daddy's Adelia, that was going somewhere.
Mistress
It's Mr. Zadilla. Please. I remember looking over. Out of all the things, nothing about blinking and getting teleported. No.
He was a skeleton man with a fire in his chest, and he wrote, Mr. Zadilia. Carl's character's dad. Okay. All that I need to remember.
That's all I needed to know.
That's amazing.
Just the highlights.
Other people are taking notes, right?
You don't want to be disrespectful. I mean,
All right, DJ, tell them about how you're going to get you some.
That's enough.
Tell us how we can get us some.
It's his terminus, that's all I'm saying.
I am Phylactogrim, and I play Nazirium.
Ooh, that's
good.
You've cursed yourself now, but that is really good.
You don't even know how true it is.
Just spoken into
Oh, man.
existence.
The great thing for me is that he never incorporates his last name into them.
You said it was so funny.
I'm John. I'm the dungeon master of the City of Oshuamp. Last week, well, we were in the caves still, and we're still in the caves, and we're gonna still be in the caves for a while because there's a lot of shit down here.
There's a lot of caves.
There's a lot of caves. We're traveling for miles.
There's caves in them hills.
Yeah, I mean, we
Off to work we go.
inspected the mosaic some more. We received some pages from the individuals in the vanguard up ahead that talked about a rite of propitiation, talked about some talismans, talked about some terminus, talked about some weird stones and some weird spaces and star metal and all other kinds of new zany off-the-wall shenanigans, which ideally we all piece together correctly or else we'll die. We're going to pick back up with the page that has the Shards of Winter.
I have an immediate question.
Yes.
Prior to last episode,
Yes.
did Luna had scouted an area where there was water coming through?
Yeah.
Was that visible?
The water?
No, like the surface.
She went up.
Yeah, she climbed up.
Okay, so we wouldn't be able to see the surface. We'd have spider.
Yeah,
Okay.
like again, it would have been angled, like it was not just a straight, direct vertical shaft. She like climbed up and was like, I can definitely see a spot of light.
Okay.
That obviously means that there's light up above.
Okay.
I'm willing, as a very small spider, to climb the several hundred feet, 1,000 feet or so, to get to the surface.
As an
a spider.
itsy-bitsy spider, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Up the water.
itsy
Up the
bitsy
water
spider.
spout. Okay,
We
I'm
did go up the water spout.
I'm sorry. Where did you say we
We're
were picking?
here.
Where did you say we were picking up?
At the page that has the 12 things, and we concluded with somebody saying the words, the mantle mortis, I believe it was Nesgrim. So we're discussing the piece of paper that has 12 names on it, and we're still in the area of the mosaic where everybody else is in the vanguard up ahead, scouting, as they have indicated, some weird buildings.
Do you want me to read the list of things again? So
If
we
you would like
remember?
to, just to refresh everyone's memory.
Yep. The Hand of Service, the Herald of Harmony, the Eye of Prudence, the Might of Mortal Will, the Aegis of Sacrifice, the Fangs of Fortitude, the Shard of Veracity, the persistence of memory, the gilded guardian, the audacious spirit, the song of solidarity, and the mental mortis.
And then we also discussed that there's got to be a 13th one that's probably missing.
Liz
Right.
has 13, right?
We know that
Because that's how one's right.
because we are absent the coronet of wrath.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
the
Yep,
Coronet
that's
of
the one that's
Wrath
not
is
on here.
missing
Correct.
from the list.
But here we be.
Here we be.
We'd be hearing.
Felix.
I've got Bran leashed. What?
Also, I don't know if anybody caught it or not, but just the top part is ripped off in the title.
Correct.
So we only have
The
two
Blank of Winter.
Yep.
And you can see the F, I believe, if I wrote it correctly and ripped it correctly.
Where's the F?
You can see the bottom of the O and the
Of.
middle of the F. Yeah.
Yeah.
The top one is the Shards of Winter.
Are you sure?
What? Do we know that?
I would assume so. The mountain range surrounding where we are is called the Shards of Winter. It would be weird if it was something else. I understand that these are clearly trinkets or artifacts or something like that, but we have heard numerous people say we are the mountain.
Who is it?
Predates you. Predates her.
Oh.
People within Felfartham.
Yeah, people.
Were they
Just Balor?
cult-like?
Balor.
Nah, they were dead.
There's one.
Arguably, he wasn't up the
Unliving?
mountain.
I guess is the right term.
Fair.
Every time.
That is fair.
I'm like, I'm going to print out my backstory so it's right in front of my face and it's easy to go through. And I just thought, shit. Every time I sit down, I'm like, fuck. It's fine.
What? Huh?
Huh?
What's up? I'm going to ask you a specific question about your backstory now. It's relevant. No, I'm not. I'm lying.
Maybe we discussed a lot of my backstory when you were busy being.
Yeah, if you had questions, now's the time.
Yeah,
for that.
if you have any
No, I
questions.
don't. I don't.
Okay.
So, I would very much like to explore the buildings ahead.
Yeah, same.
Once
Agreed.
we get the go-ahead, then we can move forward.
Preferably not alone like the last time you went exploring.
That's why I told you.
You're learning. Against all odds.
Should we like tie a rope to him or something?
Maybe.
Like Bran's on a leash.
That's a good point.
What image is that
It's
gonna
more
send?
akin, I think, to having Grimdar on a leash.
If I'm attached to a leash and I'm holding Grimdar, who's attached to a leash.
Perhaps
It means
if you
you're
hold
into
each
some weird
other's
shit.
leash.
Isn't
We
he
don't
around,
judge
isn't he
him.
around your waist? I thought the leash was waist
No, I
to
think
waist.
You did
Just
the
like
waist to
tandem
waist.
leashes?
No, you did because I
was
thought you did when
definitely
you.
Was it definitely
Yeah.
me? All right, yeah. So it was me. I did the.
Yeah,
You looked down. It was you.
You did it before bed, so you
That's
couldn't
right.
wander off.
So we couldn't wander off in the middle of the
You're
night.
into some weird shit, man. I don't know.
I agree. I would like to look at those buildings also.
It was Hunter that delivered these, right?
The pages? Absolutely.
Is Hunter still there?
No, Iris and Sabrina are the two NPCs that are here with you outside of the many children. Iris would absolutely, as you are talking about like wanting to volunteer to be the vanguard again. Casted sending real quick to them. They'll be back in a few moments if you would like to make sure that you have any of your belongings or items, so this way we can secure safe transition of power of the children to other adults as they arrive back.
Well, here's Grimdar's leash.
I don't want that.
I'm gonna pat myself down and make sure Bran didn't steal anything from me.
Yep. You can roll a perception.
Why are you looking at me? I didn't do it.
This is your fault.
No.
It's always your fault.
No.
6.
I mean, you got your weapon, you got, stone in your glove, you got your money, you got your, spell stuff. Seems like everything's here. You're just looking at it, I'm not gonna rob you, you're gonna pay me.
Good.
You don't rob from the people who pay you, then they won't pay you.
And then I'm gonna look him dead in the eyes. And then I'm gonna quick glance at Felix. And then I'm gonna look him in the eyes.
I can rob you.
In his mind, I'll say, you can try.
Nice. That's a cool trick. I like that guy. It's great. Big fan. Yeah. I mean, a moment or so would pass, everybody collects their stuff, and all the other individuals come back from the guild and start walking over and taking the 3 orphan children and look over at the other ones that Iris and Sabrina obviously are going to remain with, because there's no need to have them transfer because they're remaining. Everybody just looks at you and it's like, all right. If you need anything, let us know, and obviously if you would like anyone to assist you in the task, feel free to ask. But,
Is there anyone we'd like to bring along?
behind the mosaic wall, as Luna indicated with the spider arm flailing of the windy natural way of the passage, is buildings on each of the 3 corridors that spread off. We've not really gone far inside. There was just one strange building that was being explored right inside of the gates in the center path.
Is that where all the papers were found?
Yes, there was a small building that had been, again, crushed by stone and looked as though it had some burnt down furniture inside.
Interesting.
Found the pages in there.
And no other pages in the other buildings?
No, we've not really explored many other buildings. It's just from approaching and stepping through the gates, this place looks like it goes on for miles.
Really?
Oh, goodness.
Yes. Oh, goodness, indeed.
Well,
As I say, I hope you're safe and I hope you're well and you live through this endeavor. Thank you for taking the vanguard. We're going to go watch the children. Woo! Thank God we didn't tell them about the monsters.
It's been, what, like an hour that we were in the Vanguard?
Yep.
Or that we were
Not in the vanguard.
not in the Vanguard?
Yes.
Ooh-wee.
I would gladly walk up near the front because I very much want to explore this area.
Trying to think of which NPCs, if we want to bring any.
Maybe Luna, since she's already been through.
Well, what comes to my mind is Iris, because
Yes.
like her being a historian, this is like archaeological dig of the fucking century right here.
Would Iris
That is my thought
want
as
to
well.
go?
God, I'll have to make history checks.
We could ask her.
We can ask her opinion.
Hey, Iris,
Yes, hello, I'm still right here.
would you like to accompany us?
If you would like me to, I mean, I'm here to assist. Obviously, my priority is to protect the children, but there's a dozen adults here. So, if you find my services necessary, I'm happy to do what I can.
Figured somebody with your background would find this absolutely fascinating.
Yes, I hope there are books down here, or a library of some sort. I'd very much like to peruse it.
We can
See
try to
what they've
find
got
one.
in their weird magazine sections.
What?
What?
We can definitely.
It's behind the wall with the gate.
We've already come across one library on our way in.
Adult
If this is as big as they've said it is, I'm sure there will be one.
I hope so.
We'll find you one.
I hope so.
Well, let's.
I'm not going to say that this is a maze ahead, but it's a maze ahead.
How does Sabrina look?
It's a good thing we have.
Sorry.
Like, no, I mean, emotionally or physically?
Physically.
I mean, no real drastic changes in the, 12 hours since sleeping last night and then waking up this morning. It's only been roughly, 3 to 4 hours this morning of travel.
She doesn't look on the brink of death or anything
No,
like that?
no,
Okay.
no, no.
Are you asking if she looks exhausted?
You were saying.
Oh shit! I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
We were interacting with her about the book. I said that this is not John, I'm not going to say that this is a maze ahead as a character, but, it is. You do need to find things.
That's right.
In a sprawling metropolis-like location, it's not just ooh, we walked down one street and we've seen all of Philadelphia.
New York City.
Right, yeah. So,
It's a good thing we'll
You
have
didn't-
someone as intelligent as you with us
We're in
then.
Philadelphia? Fuck this game.
oh yeah, I'm not the best at navigating, but I can absolutely remember things and where they're located if I see them. Commit them to my memory.
Googly eyes.
I,
Would be helpful.
Yes, I'll do my best.
I look forward to having you along for this.
Broad Street.
Thank you, Scrim. That's very much appreciated. Not usually the most cordial person.
Me?
Yes.
I don't believe that.
All right. Would you like to lead the way?
Of course.
Thank you. It's just around the mosaic.
People.
All right.
Those are the flyers.
We going?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah. We going.
Come on, wizard with 40 health. Let's go.
43.
Excuse
I think, actually. off the top of my
And she also gets a +4 to her saving throw. She's
no,
unstoppable.
Those are bad.
She's one-shottable.
No.
That was good. That was.
Thanks. I'll write shit
Is
down
there
now.
another cord because my tablet's dying quickly. It's on 19. Oh, what are you at?
40, 54.
Oh, wait, that's it. You have an
You can
iPad.
both plug in.
Yeah, you have an iPad, so we can both plug in. I forgot that you.
On the other side.
Mm-hmm. No, it's right here.
It's convenient.
Bam.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we move around the wall that is the mosaic because, again, it was kind of like a mid-sectional thing. We move around it. Obviously, there is a long stretch of enormous, massive, cavernous opening that stretches in 360 degrees around us outside of the small blocking of the mosaic wall behind us. We've been gestured to go effectively straight ahead. So, like, this is a path with a little bit of delineation and declination and inclination, like, as you guys are walking. But you walk, like, 600 feet before you hit this area that had been indicated ahead. You have 300 feet of dark vision, so, like, you see it in the distance. Yeah, to you, as you're approaching, you would be able to see in the center of your vision what would look like two outcroppings of stone wall that would form a massive corridor, like roughly 1,200 feet in width. So, like, as you're walking, it's like the breadth of, for the nerdy people, but, like, think of the Mines of Moria. When, like, they walk through the doors and it's like, oh my fucking god, everything has opened up massive in here now. This is incredibly
Like the
imposing.
pillars and everything.
Absolutely.
Like the walls stop being chiseled away wall.
Correct.
It looks like they've laid brick now.
Correct.
Yeah.
But in here, the walls that are formed are the natural cavernous stone formation still coming out. In the center of this corridor ahead of you, you can see that there is a massive wrought iron gate that looks to us like the cemetery gates, where it's the wrought iron bars. They ascend as they go up towards an arching point at the height. You can see this in the distance. It looks like it goes about 60 feet up into the air at the height of the point.
Do they appear to be like a gate for sake of show or a gate for sake of protection? Because you know how like cemetery gates have a way that they're set up, so it's like it's obviously not being like, oh, we're stopping people from intruding. It's like we're merely putting a door here.
I would say that they would, if anything, to you. I think it's still reasonable enough to infer, having spent sufficient time inside of the city, that it's probably not protection. It looks ornamental in design. It looks artisanal. I'm assuming there is nothing halting us from the approach of said gates, because there's nothing realistically in the way of said gates. It is vast open reaches ahead of us, still walking along these cavernous floors that again look like they are comprised of sedimentary gravel-like consistency with small obsidian black stones. And as you're approaching, yes. Yeah.
No, there was something that I had forgot that I wanted to do. You said back in the mosaic, you said that there were shards of obsidian.
Yes.
I would have wanted to pluck a decent amount of them out, enough to coat the dagger that I'm holding.
Oh, so they are like minuscule shards. And also, to attempt to coat it, you would have to manipulate the metal. Like, you would have to do some, like, real metallurgy type
No,
shit.
I'm not gonna like actually melt it, just
Okay.
as like a shell, basically like a shitty shell.
Do you have a way to almost glue the shards together to be able to have them actually affixed to the blade of the dagger?
I can.
Yeah, if you have something creatively.
Honestly, I can coat it in water and then try to like mystic hand them around it and then freeze the water.
That I'll permit.
Okay.
That
I would just have to keep it up every hour.
yeah, that's fine.
Obsidian
That to
ice
me
knife.
is like in what way can we creatively magically make that work? That's absolutely fine with me.
Okay.
As you guys are getting closer to the gates, you can see that they are. It's in the language that you know.
okay.
You
the
can see
squiggle language.
the gates are partially ajar, opening inwards to, further into the corridor. At the height of them in the center, you would see first, but like again, we're going to continue approaching. You can see that there is what would look like a placard. There's a squiggly word in the placard, and out from the height of the squiggly, or out from the height of the horizontal, like rectangular shaped placard, look like the heights of wings, and the bottoms in front of the wrought iron bars have the continuing feathery projections down below the placard. Almost looks like it would shape a heart around it.
Oh, fuck the city of brotherly love!
I'm sorry!
Get me out of Philadelphia!
They have wings! It's the Eagles! Or the Flyers! Right?
We're fucking getting out, but I gotta celebrate somehow.
Why is everyone yelling?
Because fuck Philadelphia.
We're gonna find a man eating
Hey,
40
fuck you.
rotisserie
Fuck you.
chickens.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck this city, yeah.
That's fucking
This is the most Philly thing that could have happened immediately.
Oh, Gino's is right on the corner over there.
What the fuck? You haven't been to Gino's? What's wrong with you?
I'm walking here.
Look at a meatball sub.
Looking for a cannoli.
Right?
I'm going to point at it.
The squiggly words?
The squiggly words.
The South Street.
It says the link.
I'm fucking leave. Nesgrim, what does that say?
What say?
The squiggly lines that only you can read
Oh,
above the gate.
sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't read them.
No, it is only you.
It says Imperia.
Imperia?
EMP. YREA.
Correct.
I was struggling like Nesgrim would struggle.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you had forgotten.
Say
No.
YEA?
IREA.
Pyre?
I have no idea what that means.
Hey, you should Google it in Latin.
Actually, don't do that.
I, DJ, have not Googled it yet.
Do you want me to history check or Google it?
I think you can roll a history check. It's from the word Imperial, and it means celestial and angelic.
But is there anything saucy?
Is it?
Oh no.
Is it this the name of the city?
I would guess so.
14.
Or like maybe if it's not
As an
the,
educated man, you would know that those are the words that are associated with Empyrean.
Okay.
maybe it's not the name of the city, but like the goal they aspire to. Similarly to like the city of brotherly love, or
The what now?
What?
Which one?
yeah, Oshuamp. Yeah, that's what Oshuamp is. Yeah.
Bro. I mean, the brothers.
Fuck, we're in Delco, aren't we?
How do you spell
Or perhaps.
How do you spell plaque?
Like a placard?
PLAQUE.
That's plaque. Like on your teeth.
That's
isn't
also how it's spelled.
it? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's short for placard.
Yeah, it's short for placard.
Which is spelled with a C.
Yeah.
See,
Because
yeah.
English.
Because English makes sense. You know where
You're just comforted. That's just the way English works.
If it doesn't make you uncomfortable, you're not speaking it.
you know where English makes even less sense? In Philadelphia.
Oh, good. All right.
We got our own words, bro.
Paul, would you have said what that means out loud?
Yes.
Great. Oh boy.
That
Perhaps
makes sense with all of
I'd-
the
The writing.
everything. The wings.
Nesgrim is brighter than you've ever seen him.
Oh boy.
Writer.
Men-
like
mentally, or?
No, like excited, like more animated, like he is.
Like, does your light spell get brighter?
He looks like 30 years younger.
Oh, wait.
truthfully, like all of the wrinkles pull back and focus. And it's just,
What did you say, man?
That's. I'm literally re-looking it up because I already forgot. I'm.
I'm very excited for this.
What did you say it is
Heavenly.
exactly again? I'm looking at this. I'm looking at stuff from last week.
Associated with the celestial or angelic.
Just associated with.
As far as 14 can tell you.
Get 14, nerd.
I mean, you know, it's a heavenly thing. You don't know if it's like an angel itself or angelic.
Do I see anything that resembles like maybe a guardhouse or?
Not in the nearby vicinity, no.
If.
Also, forgive me, just in terms of, again, demonstrating the layout. The natural stone formations, part of it looks like it is crumpled over the heights of the pikes at the top of the gate. Like, this does not look like it was built here. This looked like stone has grown around it. So, like, it's not going over the full height extended, but, like, around the edges of the gate at the either sides of the corridor.
Like old enough for sedimentary rock to grow over said gate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God.
That's cool.
Absolutely. That is 100% why I wanted to make sure that I said those words.
It's
Like a
old.
tree.
Stone's
Like
not
a tree.
supposed to
Yeah.
grow.
Grown through chain link fence.
It formed around the gate.
That's so old.
Correct.
Damn.
That is the place we're in. We're in the very old octogenarian angel boy place.
Octogenarian.
Yeah. It's an old person.
Yeah, I thought that's what that meant. At first, I thought it was a doctor that only treated old people, but
That's a geriatric.
Yeah, you're getting close to
It's
geriatric.
me, Dr. Generic.
is that where geriatric comes from? Is octogenarian?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Anyway,
I think I asked before. Is the building sizes? They look like regular sizes for regular sized people.
You
They
had
don't-
asked the people who were scouting ahead. They said, yes, the doorways look a little bit taller, but they don't look like... It's not like the ones that they are inferring are houses are like 9 stories tall.
Sure. Okay.
The doorways and roofs inside are a little bit higher. Or, again, we have roofs that are like 12 feet in certain rooms, like, you know, the cathedral style
Sure.
roofing. So, like, it's not ridiculous. It's not 70 feet.
It's not like we're gonna have to pile on each other's shoulders to turn the door.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
there-
we're not going into the clouds and, you know, Jack and the Beanstalk.
Is there like a large variety of different types of building, or do they all look
It
similar?
would depend on if we're continuing to walk inside.
I would have
we
argued.
we are at like the gates. I don't know if we like stopped, pointed out the gates, and if we halted our movement, or if we were like, that's a weird word. It's Imperia. That's probably from Empyrean. That's associated with angels.
probably.
Yeah, that.
That's what I would have hoped.
Absolutely. So then I can give you guys descriptions of the buildings.
Yes.
So again, the composition in terms of the width remains the same as you go in. It doesn't really look like it opens up dramatically more. So we're talking roughly 1,200 feet wide. You'd be able to see as you're like taking a few steps in and scanning that you're not seeing the extent of the corridors. Like this area is fucking
At a point,
enormous.
the street ends
Exactly.
in my vision. Yeah.
Yes. The buildings are all. Let me actually pull it up on this
Are you gonna give me the eyes?
one so you guys can see what I mean.
What eyes?
Give him the clams.
Shortly after walking into the gate, I would have used Divine Sense.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. It is absolutely hallowed ground in here. As soon as you hit the areas of the gates.
Hallowed ground?
Yeah. Affected by the spell hallowed.
That's better than some places.
You didn't tell anyone, or are you keeping that to yourself?
I would tell everyone.
So all the buildings are comprised of quartzite. So
Oh.
wavy patterns.
I like quartzite. Quartzite's really fun.
Absolutely. So do I. So like that's why again when they were like it's a white-ish stone, but it's got grays.
It's
Like
like
marble.
It's like marble.
It's comparable to marble, but it
But it's
isn't
not,
marble.
yeah.
Marble has notoriously the darker, chunkier grain throughout it in the veins. Quartzite is much like foggier, where it would look like a cloudy day.
And
It's
this is
technically
This is
granite.
what the floor is made of?
No, those are what the houses are made
That's the
of.
houses.
Houses are made of stone walls and then simple like wattle and daub style connected wooden beams for the ones that have A-frames. There are some buildings that, as Sarah was asking, there is a variety of home structures in here. As you're walking in, I'll tell you as well, you can definitely tell that there's artisanal architecture here. Like, genuinely think
What style?
think Greek, think Roman. So like you're going to see a lot of pillars at the entrances to houses. I'm not going to describe 9,000 houses as we are walking through a sprawling metropolis as we are entering in.
I was asking more. What races would this be associated with, or cultures?
So from walking in, if you want to make, I would say it would probably just be a general. You didn't really spend a lot of time in Ulm. You were a boy. I'd say it would be hard for you to discern. I'll give you the history check just in case, but like Yengema was predominantly occupied by like 2 races of people, so I don't think you really have much of a wide breadth when it comes to the architecture.
It's 25.
25? Yeah, absolutely. So when you go in, you would be the one who would notice that in comparison to Felfar then, you would be able to denote some buildings that definitively to you look as though they are dwarven ancestry and architecture. So like
Okay.
not the A-frame roofings, very square, very thick and chunky. They would have a lot of...
Just like doors.
Yeah, but they would have, like, at the... they would have more stone doors as opposed to wooden doors.
Okay.
They would have large ornamental
So
knockers.
only some of them.
Only some of them ornamental knockers, yes.
Nice.
For fuck's sake.
You sighed as you
I
said
know, because I was like, it's a knocker. It's classically the actual word for it when it's the big fucking bong bong.
Nice knockers.
Thank you. Some of them look like they are dwarven architecture. Sarah and Don, you're both elves. Despite you only having a limited time in Feyorn, you having time in a sea coastal village, you guys would recognize differing buildings that would have elven architecture associated with it. Seamlessly together, not corridored, not sectioned off, like a dwarven house next to like a traditional human
Elven.
house next to an elven house. Yes, like...
Sure.
Similar states of
Yeah, similar states of
degrading,
decomposition and dilapidation.
Yeah,
Like, again,
so it's like they were built relatively the same time by
Yes.
different people.
crushed by stone. Again, some of them obviously dramatically more damaged than others, but it is the natural stone walls for, like, this is the area in which it was granite stones, because we had changed. This is, like, granite, large rubble has, like, crashed down on a lot of these. You can see pockets in the walls for if you guys start to walk around the area to get a better scope of things, in which there are noticeably large absences, like crevices in the stone walls, where large chunks themselves visibly would have fallen out and collapsed down onto houses. The houses are made of stone, so for the most part they are still standing. Some of them, especially ones with wooden roofs, would have been collapsed in further.
The thing that I would have looked at as we walked through the gate, I would have turned and looked at the opposite side of the door, like the actual
the gate
door,
itself? Absolutely.
to see if there are like scratch marks from people trying to escape.
Or maybe even a different word.
Yeah, you can make an investigation check.
Come back soon.
I will
leaving.
tell you as well that as you look back, there is definitely different writing on the inside of the gate.
Oh,
At the top on the banner for what would be matching, there are more squiggly lines.
got it. I would. Yes, Grim. I need your eyes. And your
For
brain.
what?
Point at the
I need
squigglies.
your eyes and your...
I look up and I'll look at where he's gesturing.
Let ye find rest.
So it doesn't say welcome to New Jersey.
No. Let ye find rest.
It says, let ye find rest.
Thank you.
Yep.
Stop, I heard you.
So looking ahead, like down the path that we're on, right?
Yeah.
Buildings line either side with...
So also, again, because this is the theater of the mind and this is me trying to demonstrate my imagination to you, don't think of this as like the cube of the city streets of Philadelphia. It is
Okay.
not singular lines.
Okay.
It's not a grid
organic.
pattern.
It's not a grid pattern, absolutely,
Yeah.
thank you. It's like some houses jut out a little bit more. There's not road here as well.
That's exactly what I was trying
Like-
to determine, was if it had like a structure that we could...
No.
Gotcha. Okay.
So like it feels very much like some buildings are pulled together in which some are constructed very proximate. Then you'll go 30, 40 feet in which you won't see a building. There are also locations that you would start to ascribe as former shops, blacksmiths, tanneries, Fletchers, leatherworking, all kinds of shops would be present in here. Again, this is like sincerely a metropolis.
If
Before continuing forward, since we are going into like investigative gear here,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and pop Eyes of the Night on Mr. Big Peepee.
Yeah.
And
No.
and Book Boy over here.
Yeah. So you guys have the 300 feet of dark fiction.
Oh, thank you.
Like again, there's not
I want that on my tombstone.
there's not ambient light here, so like I'm giving you dramatically more than what you would
Of
be able to
course.
see. This is me surmising that like we would walk in and go like, oh my fucking god, it's like the houses would be 2, some would be 3 stories. Again, nothing like wildly unorthodox, but you would step in and it's like, oh fuck, like we feel like we are again in a city. We are
Yeah.
people that live in a city. We would recognize a city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the like, oh fuck, probably not literally every single residential home right here is going to be something that's going to have a dramatic meaning to us, let's try to get a little bit better layout of our immediate circumstances. So that's why I'm like, for hundreds and hundreds of feet beyond what you would see, you would be able to start to piece it together.
My thought process being he has a good passive, so
Yeah.
it's like if anything's sneaking up on us,
Yeah.
he'll have the passive to let me know.
Absolutely.
And I know he's good with like
Yes.
connecting patterns and stuff like that.
But yes, for anybody else who has clarifying questions, Joe.
I was gonna say, it's just like any buildings that seem like a little bit more intact than the others. I would kind of want to just like poke my head in through like a window or an open door or
I
something.
was just gonna say I'd like to
of,
find
like-
the first building in good shape and
Well,
check it out.
Not even just a building that's in good shape, a building of architecture that doesn't seem familiar to me.
Sure.
So,
you, to be fair, grew up in a hut and then an orphanage and then
A
the
dungeon.
caves.
But I have gone out and ventured out, so I have seen like human style. Like,
You, from your time inside of Oshuamp working at the orphanage, would have been most accustomed to their very poor slums north wattle and daub wooden buildings.
Sure.
The stone buildings would be fucking wild as shit to you because you wouldn't
Okay.
have seen any of those.
So the first one.
So, yeah, I guess
But like
like,
the elven
are
ones as well
those?
would also be where elven ones would have a little bit thinner framing to them. They would have despite again it being like a home, we see homes that have fucking spiraling towers at points of spannerets like out of the corner. Like you would be also bewildered by houses like that.
I was gonna say I have read stories, anything that seemed
Absolutely.
unfamiliar or like nothing like I had read before, maybe, or just
Sure.
otherly,
Sure.
or whatever most attention.
Yeah, I would say based upon what you would have read, you would have been familiar with the elven buildings then because ancestral lineages and stuff like that. So those would have been passed down in that tradition. Yeah, no, I would definitely say that there would be very close within the first 3 to 4 buildings on one of the sides. There would be a stone constructed 2-story square building where it would be thinner on the second story. Would look almost like it's an attic effectively for the second story, where it's dramatically smaller than the first surrounding part of the house itself. If you would like to approach and look in, if you would like to go with her, you're
Yeah, I
absolutely
was
welcome.
gonna wait till the end, but I was gonna find the first building in
Yeah.
good shape and go explore that building.
Genuinely, you two are welcome to go over to it. You can each roll investigation checks, or one of you can roll with advantage.
Mine was an 8 on the back of the door.
Cool, for looking for scratches?
Yeah, looking for things if I'm like running my fingers along the stone,
You just
trying to
wanted to roll
find
with advantage, that's
people
fine with me.
literally like
Yeah.
digging in
Investigation.
or
And you said
smashing.
8?
I don't know
Yeah.
if you're proficient with it or not.
Yeah, my investigation is not very good.
Well,
No, I know, you're not the in character.
Yeah.
With advantage?
Oh, with advantage.
Okay, you check.
Why would they need to escape?
Oh, that's actually much better. 14.
Give me 1 second. Don, would you just tell people so this one?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I would
Okay,
have
so
absolutely pointed that out.
fantastic. You would be investigating these spots, obviously within your reach.
Yeah.
You would run your hands like along their wide fucking gates. They go hundreds of feet. As you're running your hands along, you don't feel anything that would feel like scratches, no like weird burrs in the middle or anything like that. You would feel, at this point, it would be. You rolled an 8. Fuck me. Fuck you. Yeah, you don't feel any scratches. Like, it feels
fuck you.
it feels
Smooth.
pretty smooth and cool. Like there's definitely some areas where it would feel like dimpling.
But nothing that would make me think that people were trying to escape while being trapped in here.
Yes.
Based on
Based on that 8.
yes, Don, still believe that they were.
I'm
However,
not saying you shouldn't.
absolutely.
But yes,
yeah.
you run your hands along, it feels like dimpling.
Yeah.
No like scratches, no grooves, no
Right.
indentations.
Because to
nothing
me,
like
that indicates
me,
either
you.
they didn't know what was happening and it all happened at once, versus they knew it was happening and they were trying to get out.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to
Fantastic.
determine.
Absolutely. 14.
Before we
Are you
get
gonna
to
ask
that,
anybody else? I was gonna
when
get
I
out of
had
response.
said I would want to like investigate the building,
Yeah.
I didn't so much mean I was just gonna walk over and like look at. I want to go in,
Yeah, no, that's fine.
and I was just waiting until we finished asking questions to like.
No, that's totally
approach.
okay.
I'd like to just go check out that one, and I'd just point to the one that's
Yeah,
in
the
good
stone
shape.
one that I described.
Just wave.
Yeah.
I would like to go look in that building if you'd like to come along.
Sure.
Okay, you don't have to. Iris?
Instagram, there's like hundreds of buildings.
Yeah, no, I just want to check that one, and then we can.
Why that one?
Because it's the first one I saw.
Oh, dear. I would love nothing more than to come look at this first building with you.
I'm not gonna check all of them.
I would hope not. We'll die in here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the first one. It's really close to
All
the
right,
gate.
Chip, let's go.
Go check out this building.
She starts walking by. She looks at everybody else when he's stepping ahead. Oh my god.
In her mind, I'll just say, "Help us!"
Spiders.
And I'll just like
First day at school.
I'll check to make sure the door is not, you know.
Yeah. Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
So, would be a stone door. The stone itself would have been broken off in the damage. Again, it's not like the roof has collapsed in or anything. You can see that there are large chunks of granite stone crashed into the roof of the building. You hit the entryway of the doorway. You look inside. You've got 60 feet of dark vision. Or do you have light?
At that point, I probably would have I would pick up a stone, cast light on it, and use that as
Sure. So reasonably sized building. Again, for us, just in terms of square footage, it's probably only about 600 square feet.
Okay.
Pretty small size. It's a pretty small house in relation to the surroundings. You can see that it looks like a very primitive medieval stone home where it's got stone fucking floors. It's got nothing in terms of real ornamental furniture. It's got a small cot bed that obviously at this point, like the linen that would have been there would be very much reduced to almost nothing as it's been eaten by like various termites and others, small insect creatures that would exist in this area. Yeah, there's bugs and shit, dude. Bugs exist. Because it would be a dwarven house, it would have stone bedposts. It would not have wood, so like the stone of the bed would be in shape.
Everything's stone. Where are they coming from, John?
Fine.
Terminus.
There's stone termites, Paul. Don't worry.
Terminus mites, DJ.
There's a small like wrought iron wood burning stove. Doesn't look like there's anything crazy in here. I'll tell you, the thing that would be most noticeable you with the 14 would be that as you hit the door frame, right at the inside of the house and along the low portions of the door frame, roughly only the first maybe 8 to 12 inches in height, despite it being white quartzite for the composition of the building itself, it would look like there is a clear, not perfect line, but pretty distinct line for what would you perceive as probably maybe water damage, despite it being stone. It's not like there's crazy erosion. It might have a little bit of a lip inside. But like, maybe like 8 to 10 inches in height up from the bottom would hit the both sides of the door frame. Not really go into the house much at all. It wouldn't be of sufficient height to hit the windows or go anything. But it seems like there's water damage or something like that along the bottom of the house here.
Okay. Looking around, do I see like a desk or anything? Like I know you said there's no ornamental furniture.
Yeah.
So
You would see a small stone desk. If you would like to say, can I go over and see if there's really anything here in terms of information, because we did find papers, you would see that on the ground adjacent to the desk are many molded pieces of paper in the same composition as what you received papers were like. All of them are completely soaked and effectively crumpled up where they would look.
Are they stained at all?
No, they're
So like if there was water damage, right?
yes.
If it was a liquid that had a distinct color that we know, like coffee, wine, something
Sure,
like it would
sure.
stain paper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It would look so long ago. It would be at this point like a very dark, moldy brown.
Okay.
I was gonna say I went in with him.
Yeah.
I want to check the doorway.
What would you be looking at the doorway for?
See if there's any like carvings or like any kind of like. Shut up.
Sam's blood on the door.
Well, no, like I'm trying to see if there's any like like if it's like a
Probably
customary
wouldn't be on this
thing.
door.
I'm not gonna say there wouldn't have been if the stone door was still here.
Okay.
So it's a thick frame door. So the stone width would be about yay wide. Again, roughly like 8 feet in height. As you feel along and like observe within, You see that there's obviously like a groove for where the stone door would have slid into the wall on the one side. You can see that within that groove, there is still a half broken stone door currently that, like, if you pull on, seems like it's jammed. There's rubble at the base of it, so you can't really get it out without spending an amount of time to move the rubble. It wouldn't be a long time. It would be maybe, like 5-10 minutes, but that's up to you. Other than that, in the door frame itself, there's not really anything carved. There's not really anything, again, ornamental. There's no, like, nice dwarven filigree into the stone here. It would have been on the door.
Okay.
Is there a staircase leading up to the second level?
Yes, there is. Yeah, it's like maybe 8 stairs heading up to the second level, kind of in the back corner.
I'll tag along.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go upstairs.
I'll come with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have light cast on your stone. You're still holding it as you're, wandering up these stairs. It's got just like a simple latch opening up. Kind of poke your head in. Hold the stone out in front of you. You can see you're in like a crawl space. There's absolutely a small there's like an iron lock box where it would look almost like a foot locker.
Okay.
It is absolutely padlocked. It's very old, so like it's...
Oh, he loves padlock boxes, John.
Yeah,
Why
like,
would you
it's-
do this?
I'm doing my best.
Get him again!
It's rusted, so like you can see the patina and the iron on the actual
all part of
padlock
all the
itself, but you can see that there would definitely be an insertion point for a key.
The lock is very old, very rusty. I would like to just
Open the
strike
dildo
it.
box, please.
I'd like to just strike it with the butt of my sword and see if I can break the lock.
Absolutely, you make an attack roll.
Second one.
I can tell.
Oh, buddy. That is a 21.
You can roll your damage.
Is it a dragon?
Is he gonna hit himself?
You obliterate the box and everything in it.
That one's crooked. Damn it. All right.
Smite.
Smite.
I'm not gonna smite.
Now's your chance.
Let's talk about
The one time I put a mimic in, he doesn't smite it.
It's an 11.
For the damage value? Yeah, so I mean, you take the butt of your sword, you hold the lockout away from the box, and you just smash against the joining part. And no, it cracks. Like it splits in half. It feels very brittle almost in your hands.
I open the chest.
Absolutely.
Roll initiative.
He also opens this box.
He's sprayed with salt acid, and his skin starts dissolving.
Ooh. That's
Yummy.
tough.
I'm not letting go of the mummy thing.
Nesgrim's never met an insertion point that he could resist.
Otep?
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Okay, what's your passive perception?
Oh, my PP?
Yeah.
My PP is 16.
Okay, so slightly above average.
Yeah, my PP's not any bigger than Aethir's, though. Like, Aethir is packing some PP. Like, he...
Got a 23-incher over
Did
here.
you take an elongated peek at it?
Yeah, I took an elongated P at his PP.
A P?
What? Pee-pee.
An elongated P.
John, can you finish whatever you're doing?
They're out of control, John!
Just fucking put a dildo in the box and let's go.
It's the same stone dildo.
The exact same one.
There's only one existing
It
stone.
found you.
You pick it up, you examine it thoroughly. This is definitely the same one.
Any
It's
box,
a mimic.
any box he opens that does not belong to him, it's automatically teleported to because he's cursed.
It's just familiar.
It's the reason that they want your blood.
Oh, it's definitely familiar.
You would find that amidst
I really
some
just-
broken, dilapidated old tools.
Oh, man. Tools.
They would be, yeah, you're right. It would be like small carpenter's tools, so like an old knife, small little like wooden mallet, little the like paring style curved knife for intricate detail.
Okay.
I don't care.
While they're doing that, who else wants to do shit? Cool. Paul, we'll go around the table and clockwise fashion.
I just sent you a thing.
Cool.
Yeah, I would first mention my thought, after feeling along the door, If we are assuming the papers that were found describe some sort of ritual process, if that is what occurred here, since there is seemingly, understanding that this is very old, there are no signs of life. They seem to have just vanished, seemingly. The back of the gate does not feel like there are markings for people trying to escape. So if they were all ascended at once or sacrificed at once, they were unaware that it was happening. It wasn't something that took time that they tried to escape, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look in this building.
Okay. Have fun. I'm just gonna look.
Did Ether seem like excited about a mass sacrifice, or
No.
okay?
He licked his lips a lot and then like
There's
winked
a-
at us and ran inside.
Skeletons. And then I would walk over to the adjacent building, and I would just peek in and see if I can find any papers or clothing or anything like that to try to determine the age of any of the things. And also I'd look to see if there are any bones.
I was just
around.
thinking that too.
For
Yeah.
bones, skeletons, dancing around.
Absolutely, you can roll an investigation check.
I had the thought of
Great.
googling how long.
Actually, your spooky, scary skeleton.
I had the thought of googling how long does it take bones to decompose, and then I didn't want to get put on a list.
Good call.
So
You just do that and then I.
What are you talking about? You haven't already
15.
Googled that?
Much better.
Yeah, same style.
Everyone's on the list.
It's
Nobody is.
very old. Any of the
Teeth
things
take
that would have been
longest.
left here would have been predominantly destroyed outside of stone, and other things that would have survived thousands of years. So in regards of paper, there would be, once again, maybe a few loose pieces of parchment that would have absolutely been decomposed over time just by water damage and then natural decay.
Yep.
Again, there's like humidity and shit down here, so like
Yeah, absolutely.
paper's absolutely going to dissolve. So you would find small scraps of paper. I would tell you that from what you can see on them, I'll say you went into an elven-looking house. You would see bits of paper where like maybe you pick up an elven word or two. Doesn't look like it's anything obviously nefarious like this.
Sure.
It would look maybe like it's someone's journal talking about like their workday of like 12 bagels. Like not
Sure,
bagels, but
sure.
like 12 baguette.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
12 food products.
yeah.
Why 12, John?
You know, exactly. Like an innocent number of a menial food product.
An innocent number
Definitely a
like
bread
12.
Product.
Maybe 13, like a baker's dozen.
Yeah, like one sack bread.
Sure.
There you go.
Bread sack.
Bread
Red
sack.
sack.
Good. Good.
There would be old,
sack
again,
full of
like
bread.
dilapidated clothing. Like people obviously fucking lived here. So
Yeah.
like people also in medieval eras aren't walking around with like a big fucking wardrobe when they're an average layperson.
Right.
They might have 3 outfits. So you might see that there is in this elven building, you might see that there's an old, mostly now frayed and torn apart cloth robe that looks like it's maybe made of linen where it's a little thinner. You might see one that's a little bit more for winter wear that's got furs and things like that. All neutral, earthy colors and tones. Nothing like crazy like we've got up in Oshuamp.
Sure. But no bones.
No bones.
No bones.
No bones.
Is there clothing anywhere that looks as if like
It was being worn.
it was being worn and has just like dropped in place? In
Oh,
the
like a
sense of,
leftover?
like,
Like a rapture.
the bodies and their bones vanished, but the clothes are still where they were.
No. No, like pile of clothes on the ground,
Sure.
like in a heap, like in Felvar then.
Sure.
Oh, right.
For any of
That,
the
that did
like,
happen already.
There's piles of
Yeah.
sulfur
They're gonna do the same
everywhere.
thing.
for any of the like drawers and things around the house, simplistic in nature, are there any that are like open that it looks like people left in a hurry, or they're just gone?
What I'm gonna.
Good question.
They're all closed.
Okay, that's bad. All right, very good.
Like the
Cool,
doors
cool,
are
cool,
closed.
Fantastic.
Very good. Yeah,
Well,
I'll
that
continue
for
to
you.
do that.
Lawrence, anything as we continue to go counterclockwise?
The ground in the previous area was kind of beat up, right? Was I think you said gritty.
Yeah, gritty.
Um,
Oh, fuck.
easier.
We're that was like the I don't know how I would describe that previous area in relation to what effectively seems like a city. What does the ground seem like? Does it seem like paved roads? Does it seem like this was built here and the cavern has kind of intruded in upon it?
I would say no, there's no real delineation or signs to you of where paved roads were or might have been or still are. It would have the same flooring texture as where you just walked in from. So the same gritty, very small sedimentary rocks, very broken up, where like it's obviously not loose, but as you're walking, you're kicking up a lot of dust, you're kicking up a lot of small stones.
Okay. I guess while they're looking around some of the nearby buildings, I would just be scoping for like the next decent building to check out.
Sure.
Maybe things that stand out more than just like a lot of these look like homes.
Yes.
Is how you've described them.
Correct.
If there's anything that maybe looks more like some sort of establishment where we might be able to get better bearing on less of like somebody's personal life, if there is anything to find, and maybe on like what level of activity was going on in this city in relation to like we've come from a city.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. I would tell you that you walk for maybe 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and you can see up ahead roughly 60 to 80 feet. There would be what would look like to you a larger 3-story stone structure, dwarven architectural building. You would get the same feeling as like when you've gone to a blacksmith and you would know that there would be an actual crucible and an actual forge. You would see the same steam venting shafts along the back of it. You would see the large open area where it's not fully a sealed building. It would only be sealed roughly 3 out of the 4 walls. So it would have an opening on one of the corners. Looking in from a distance, you would be able to see an anvil, mostly still intact because it's an enormous fucking piece of metal. It would be patinaed, so like a little bit discolored, but you would be able to see the crucible and the inlets for where if you're molten metal pouring, you'd be able to actually see the sand pits for where they would do cooling.
Sure. The buildings on the way to this point look like they're in the location that they were created in. They look like they're where they're supposed to be. Do any buildings look like they're moved from where they're supposed to be?
So some of them look like they might have sunken a little bit on a side. None of them look like they are in such a depressed state in regards to the overall ground level. So probably built here and maybe...
Yeah, normal like land shifting for the type of ground
Correct.
that's in this area.
Yep.
I guess I'd turn around now that I've found a notable building.
Yeah.
About how far away is anybody else in the party? A couple of them were searching actual buildings.
Yeah, you'd be maybe roughly 100
outside,
feet from, the people in the building, and the people outside of the building you'd be like 80 feet from.
For what it's worth, if there wasn't anything much else up there, I probably would have walked out.
Sure.
So-
You'd be searching for several minutes. This would be occurring sequentially
Gotcha.
within that time frame.
I'm thinking like if we come out at the same time he comes back.
Sure.
Kind of.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'd turn around and see if I could catch sight on somebody outside,
Yeah.
and if somebody looks in my
he would've-
direction, I'd flag somebody
He
down.
would have gone over towards the gate, so your realistic candidates are Felix, Forrest, and Retora.
Yeah.
Any of the 3 of you, I do not know whether or not you would believe that your character would notice being flagged down. That's up to you guys.
I was gonna say that I'm actively keeping an eye out, so
Sure.
probably would notice.
Sure. Felix
Yeah.
and Forrest as well. Obviously, multiple people.
Openly
would notice it.
observing the party and just watching where everybody is.
Would also probably notice.
I would be doing a specific thing.
Cool. So, Forrest and Retora would notice. Would you go over as he flags you down?
Yeah.
Sure. Very good.
Yeah, I'll stay here. You can go.
Retora starts walking over.
What's up?
Forge up here. Figured I probably shouldn't stray too far along.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Yeah. So we'll just go over and.
I'm gonna like look at you guys before you go. Like, good.
Yeah, you have sufficient dark vision. You can see that they go roughly 100 to 115 feet ahead of you.
Still got my eyes on you.
Yeah, you could see them in the distance.
Yeah, I'd
Youthful
check
wondrous
similarly to what he was checking, like what sort of final usage state was this in. Obviously, this area is very old, so like I'm not expecting to like find tracks out the door, but like you know, does it look like it was cleaned up and then left? Does it look like it was left in the midst of use?
Do either of you two have a source of actual light, or are we doing this in the dark?
I don't currently have a source of light. I do have the invocation that gives me seeing normally in darkness.
Okay.
Up to 120 feet.
Okay, cool.
That's a cool invocation.
That's the good one. Choice.
Yeah, I could light a candle, like a
Torch?
torch.
It's up to you. I'm only asking for the sake of any perception and investigation checks. If
Light
it's in the
the
dark, it's in the dark.
Light the torch and cross the threshold.
Well, see, I was also possibly going to wild shape so that I could smell better.
That's a good idea.
But I can't hold the torch and also...
Wait, why not?
Be a crab.
Yeah, I mean, if you look like you're contemplating a light source, I'd tell you that I can see just fine.
Like, I have 30 feet of dark vision. I am going to wild shape into a, I'm gonna go with a
Walk much?
panther.
All right.
All right.
Fucking what,
Okay.
I
Panther.
suppose you would have seen local panther in the Avith Woods.
Is there
Local
a difference?
I'll be honest,
Is there a mountain lion specifically?
There's
Because I would say like cougars and mountain lions would be more regional.
yeah, I was thinking more like almost like a snow leopard, but
Sure.
there's not a stat block.
I mean, you could just say a snow leopard and use the panther
That's
stat
what I,
block.
that's what I.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You're a snow leopard.
I've got.
She becomes a snow leopard.
That makes sense.
That's fucking cool.
Okay.
She's a cat lady.
I can't wait to come out of this house.
Luma, behind you!
Kill it! Quick, before it kills our friend!
Burn full health.
Lawrence, you can roll the investigation check.
To see this leopard.
To see the details on the snow leopard. Jesus Christ.
There's the
A
13
natural
dots.
20
Fantastic.
for a total of
19.
20.
Very detailed.
Damn. Nice.
There's 13
Just
spots.
roll hot. Don't need stats.
Just roll hot, don't need stats. You need stats when you roll a 20.
Yeah. Just. What's wrong with you? Why are you looking at us?
Because I tripped. I was hoping no one saw it.
Okay.
Tripped again?
And then you told us.
After you just flipped me off and I said walk much.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, dude.
Really? Just kick.
No, it's a mystery.
Oh, pencil.
One of yours?
I think I dropped one a couple weeks ago, but it's that one.
Sorry. It's gone forever. Really hope I see a sign in common that says no snow leopards.
Not allowed.
Snow leopard.
So what are you wild shaping?
Specifically.
Snow leopard.
Ooh.
I've wanted to. I tried to find like a stat block.
What if it
for
goes
because
from
they're not
like no
exactly
bears
like
and it
panthers, they're a
changes?
little different,
You see it change.
but
I'd be a little freaked out.
limitations.
Yeah.
I
They
just
start
want
off
to
as kittens, so they're the same animal in my eyes.
They're
Nope.
really cute.
Nope.
Little sweet baby.
You don't want
panther.
to
You ever
That's the
seen
most standout thing.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it's not nice. I don't know how you want to share that information if you wanted to. But
Are you gonna
You're
show?
a snow leopard.
there's a leopard
already.
here.
Yeah.
And it's into your head, I'm gonna
She said,
point pretty much anywhere at the base of the building. blood.
Can I smell the blood?
It's thousands of years old. It would just to you look like very dark staining where, again, weathering or erosion, but absolutely would be predominantly pretty even.
Don't tell her how much.
Water damage.
Water damage on it.
Water damage.
Oh.
Lot of blood.
No.
You can see it, like you're looking at it.
Yeah, I'll like
Oh, okay.
wave you over and like point
Yeah.
to a height.
Yeah. So along
height.
the bottom of the buildings, up to about 10-ish or so inches, 12 inches at certain points, there's noticeable damage for what would look like staining, and then clear erosion slightly inwards. It would also be, again, you're in a blacksmithing area, there's the sand pits, the sand would have staining along the heights of the sand, pretty uniform throughout the long rectangular sand pits. It'd be staining the bottom of the anvil, staining the bottom of any of the furniture within here.
That's a lot of blood.
What?
I don't know.
We should check the other buildings.
Thank God I'm in this house.
Oh, no.
We should finish checking this
Speak for
one first.
yourself.
Yes, this is. That's an absurd amount of blood.
Yes.
I'm glad someone said it.
God was unhappy with this place.
That's when you notice thousands and thousands of dead frogs.
Termites come out of the blood.
During that frame,
Terminus
what would you be doing?
Okay, so first things first, off the back of his weird fucking comment, you said there were shops. I would want to dip into a shop real quick and look if it's been ransacked.
Absolutely. I would say same thing as Yalumlo and Ritora. It would take maybe like 15, 20 feet worth of walking. You have 300 feet of dark vision. It's gifted to you. You'd be able to see same thing, like roughly 100 or 150 so feet, where you'd be walking pretty much in the same vicinity as the two people going to the blacksmith. Maybe 2 to 3 buildings up ahead of them. You would stop into a building that, to you, as a person that's been around cities, would absolutely feel like a leather worker's slash tanner's location. Step inside. This building would, same thing, predominantly composed of stone. This one would have an A-frame roofing with wood. Slightly dilapidated, broken in. There'd be big piles of timber and all kinds of, nonsense in terms of destruction from the roof itself. In the building, it would not look like it's been ransacked. There would still be openly displayed pieces of large furs that would have been dried out. So, they would have kind of survived. They'd be fucking old and brittle by now, but would survive to be intact, at least in terms of the accuracy of the anatomy. You would see, some deer pelts. You would see some moose. You would see snow leopard. Can't wait to hunt down.
It's actually mostly snow.
It's weirdly 99. The shop's name is in common, and it's the 99-cent leopard store. So
I was getting scared. It was fine.
So I saw her wild shape, right? So I'm just like, this is too funny.
Fine leopard we're having.
Fine leopard we're having.
This is so good. Real leopard at these prices.
No wonder everyone died. These prices are outrageous.
Oh my
Prices
God.
will
Is that
kill.
the staghorn?
So it looks intact.
Yes.
And nothing out of the ordinary. All right, I would dip back out.
You would also see, as has been indicated for all of the buildings, staining along the bottom of the buildings. Still a stone building.
So with my dark vision, I can't really tell what it is. Right?
No, it would appear black. Again, with dark vision, things
And
are
I'm clearly standing on something raised, or is it just stained
Ooh, so because it's
Is it just in the doorway?
out the entire exterior of the building,
On the perimeter,
perimeter of the building,
not the inside?
not the inside.
So
Ours
what,
too.
genuine?
Well, for you, because your building is open,
It's kind of open.
Oh, okay.
it's only 3 framed
Yeah.
instead of on the 4th side having a framing. It's open because it's got a forge. That's why it's staining the sand pit in the interior of the building.
Any edge
Would I
that's touching
associate-
the outdoors.
Would I associate that with anything to stop flooding? Because that's fucking weird.
I mean, for you, I would say Yengema would have possibly experienced some kind of flooding to where this would feel definitely weird to you because it's an underground building. they would have to build some kind of effectively like gutter system
Yeah.
to be able to deal with a surplus of naturally occurring water should there have been anything happening to it. You don't see any signs of gutters because there's no fucking roads.
All right.
It's a blood gutter.
It's in fall.
Okay.
It's in fall.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd make note of that, kind of exit the building, and for the structure that we've seen so far, we're not too far in.
Yeah.
Weird ass name. Where would I think a place of worship would
City
be?
center.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's absolutely
Yeah.
correct.
Everybody's got to be as close to possible to God. So I mean.
And
I
the
would-
DM hails Paul to the
Yeah,
middle
I
of
mean,
the
I
circle.
would start to walk toward, like, I would look that way, obviously probably not being able to see it,
Yeah.
but I would kind of walk that way and maybe, like, kind of head toward the center, but kind of wait for everybody.
Sure, yeah. So you'd be a few paces ahead, holding up and waiting. Forrest, is there anything you would be doing during this time frame besides watching?
So he's forward, not as forward as they are? Or he's
He is a
past
little
that?
bit further than they are. They're like
Okay.
110 feet. He's like 140.
damn-
There's
kids.
one more thing I'd like to do.
Sorry, yes.
Go for it.
Do I need to roll burnout here? Or is it nice and fun?
No.
No burnout? I'm going to activate perfect senses.
Sure, absolutely.
That's me see invisible
yeah,
creatures and
I would say
objects.
also, you casted a cantrip, so you wouldn't really be able to discern. For you, are you doing something that would exert side points?
Yes.
You're in a serene area.
Serene.
Yeah.
So that's
Wow,
plus
what is
3.
that
So, like,
serene
can I even burn out?
I mean,
You still can,
could.
but even if you do burn out,
7 plus 3, 10.
you're good.
Okay, so I can see invisible creatures and objects within 10 feet
Serene
of me.
is the best
It
good
is.
one, correct?
Yes,
I'm
correct.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
with
Serene's
you.
the best
calm,
one.
stable, normal, unstable, wild,
Correct.
chaotic.
Serene.
10 feet blind sight.
Cool.
Invisible
Absolutely.
creatures and objects.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Sorry, go ahead, Forrest.
That actually helps me out because I was going to be trying to decipher what kind of magic it feels like down here.
Yes.
If that would require me to cast a spell, I can. Mainly my thinking here is these houses are made of weird rocks.
I mean, quartzite is not super uncommon.
It's nicer than things that I would have normally
That,
seen.
yes.
And
Between
it's
your
like
home
that's
and
a-
between Oshuamp.
That's a weird thing to build a building out of in my eyes. And I do know from Felfarthen that certain types of rocks do things.
Yes, they do.
And mainly I'd be trying to decipher if not through the scope of force, but in my head to you, DM, if it feels like magic is amplified here. Because we're
You can make an Arcana check.
Okay.
With advantage because you would be concentrating on the notions.
Yep. Ooh, baby. That's gonna be a 16.
It's great. Clean, crisp, delicious, amplified magic.
Yeah, it's good. What do you mean? It's fine. This is good.
Gotta suck it all in.
No, I don't know about that. I didn't say that.
I did.
You said give the suck.
Yeah.
Whoa, please.
Whoa, Don, you need
Please,
You've
Mr.
already
Peepee.
you already rumbled earlier, like as soon as we got here.
Don, you need to change your name in Discord to Weave Sucker.
Hey, yo.
We
I was gonna
sucker.
say Mr. Big Peepee.
All right, I want it. That is a good one.
You combine the two as Mr. Peepee.
Shush.
Nerd charge. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes
What about Weave Huffer?
Ooh, that's how it works.
Boy, oh boy.
What are you worried about, man?
It's fine, Glenn.
No, it's
We haven't even
it's
gotten to a
more than
scary
fine.
building.
It's actually
Oh, check your phone, sir.
it's actually
me?
It's actually cool.
I don't have anything here. What's this? Blood. I don't. Did you send me some? Oh no.
And your character one. I had to make sure that I actually sent it to Paul character info. I did.
Oh baby!
Uh-huh.
Ah!
Uh-huh.
I think
I don't know about that.
Anything else, Forrest?
As I'm looking around too,
Uh-huh.
he would make the mention out of like, there's no bodies.
Nobody knows.
At home.
Well, equivalent or topped off.
Excuse me?
Equivalent.
Okay.
When he makes that mention, this definitely does feel like Velfar than divorced.
Sure.
I kind of look around. Nobody's really like paying attention to me, so go ahead and and then I'll just stand there. Whip it out. And just fucking wait.
Yeah!
It's the rear. I fucking love Gordon Ruins. Whoa, rear to stop, man. Come on.
I'm not in control of that half of
Whoa,
my
whoa,
body.
whoa. He wore pants? Somebody just walks out, pulls the glasses down. Found you, dog, man.
Oh, God.
Oh, my dark vision! That'll teach you. Yeah, since nobody's really paying any mind to me, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of pull out my Moon Touch longsword.
You're gonna what now?
Why'd you
Yes.
pause?
So I'm gonna pull it out.
It's called Comedy Paul. Look it up.
Coming
after me?
What
the fuck?
Fuck.
So stay in your lane, Paul.
Fuck me. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Yeah, Paul, stay top. What are you doing?
You unsheath the Moon Touch sword.
And I'm gonna hold it out and just kind of wait a little bit and see if I see anything approaching it.
You are pulling out the one that is imbued now with Rearda's spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will tell you that as
Sorry.
you
Yeah.
hold it out for a moment, you would see in the reverberating rhythmic pattern of the moonlight, you would see his face, almost looking like it's enveloped around it. Again, ethereal, so almost formless, where the majority of it would be the prominent snout, the brows, the eyes. You would see part
Similar
of the
to how
mouth.
I viewed Dorgrim before.
Yes, but like
where it's the face is only slightly illuminated by the edge
correct.
of the light.
And then the edge of it would have been disseminated backwards, like spiritually flames licking away from itself.
Is he looking at the sword or is he looking at me?
Oh, he's open, mouth panning, looking at the sword.
And does it just stay, or is it like
His head's moving a
a
little
fleeting
bit.
glance? Like he's there and then he's just kind of.
No, he's still here. His head would be revolving around it, almost orbiting it.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm kind of transfixed on something else now.
Yep.
I'm just gonna kind of stare at that and start tearing up a little bit.
I would say that we would wind our way back. You two would step out. You had asked about the exterior of the building. Would you be looking for anything in particular outside of the erosion or outside of the natural damage from the stones collapsed on
A little
top?
bit of both, just like kind of like glancing over, seeing if anything like seems out of the ordinary, like in terms of like cultural things or the way the building was hit.
Sure. Yeah, that you can make an investigation check for. Absolutely.
That's a trap.
What did Iris wind up doing?
Iris just literally watched Nesgrim and was just hands on hip, just
Oh, she's in the room.
She's
he's
nice to
really
meet me
doing
today.
his best. Would
How
see
did he
you,
make it this far?
would see you come back downstairs.
You know it.
Just look at you.
It's a 3.
Hello.
Find anything nice up there?
I probably would have pointed it out. Pointed it out to Thariel while we were up there.
Yeah.
But I would show her the coin.
Yeah. There would be not space for the two of you to go up into the crawl space
Oh,
together.
gotcha. Okay.
The stairs are very narrow. You, as you come back down, would show her the coin.
I found this.
Neat, Nesgrim. Money.
Do you see what's engraved on it?
Ooh. Wings. Those are beautiful.
And the
Coins usually are minted with some kind of sigil. Or,
the phrase.
squiggly lines.
Well, I can read that.
That's great.
And at this point, like,
E pluribus.
oh no, I clicked the wrong button. It says, "We of faith stand united."
That's very strange, Nesgrim. I've never heard that sentence before in my life.
What did it say?
We of faith stand united. And then I would just kind of like pass the ring around, or not ring, coin. I was thinking pass the coin around
Yes.
the ring, and I got
Yeah.
stuck with pass.
Singular platinum coin, minted with two large wings in the center. And then that phrase and a banner around it.
Feathered wings, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one.
Yeah. for the 3 for the investigation, just to have that also be ensured that we consider it. It doesn't feel like there's really much notable to you in terms of cultural significance in the composition of the building. It would, to you, be most curious, despite rolling so low, the idea that these are some big-ass fucking stones that would be...
Where do they mine them from, maybe? Or like,
what occurred to cause these stones to fall.
sure. Okay.
Like, these don't just look like, oh no, like somebody hit the wall with a fucking pickaxe and like, kablam!
Yeah.
It's like, holy
Something
shit, chunks that are, you know, boulders effectively in size scale would have collapsed on these buildings.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So, you guys would step back out. Ether would be also having concluded his investigation inside of an adjacent house, would step back out. Roughly 40 feet ahead of you would be Vorth standing affixed, staring at his moon-touched sword.
What's going on there, buddy?
Are you okay?
You don't see it. Are you running? Are you like going over to talk
Oh,
to
yeah.
him? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's yelling at.
Yeah.
Hey,
But we do need to be specific about our actions.
Yeah,
You don't
walk
care
over.
about it?
Yes. You. Would you also walk over?
Yes,
to
I
him?
would.
Thank you.
I am too.
Yeah. The 3 of you walk over to Forrest.
You all right there, buddy?
Are you okay?
You don't see it.
You do not see anything weird.
See what?
See what?
He's
Get out
here.
of my head.
He's here.
Who's here?
You just see it?
I do not see anything, Vorst. Just your sword.
He's
And
in
you?
the, he's in the light, like the ghosts.
Who is?
It's like he never left, you know?
Rearda?
Yeah.
A piece of him will always be with you, yes. And we saw what happened with the sword. I imagine there is a part of him that is imbued in its magic, yes.
So you guys are talking, you would see his head just turn horizontally and he just starts biting the blade of the sword. Just up and down like he's eating corn.
I'll start laughing and then like slowly like start moving the sword away from wherever his mouth is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trying to make him like
It's like Ruben trying to catch treats in the
Oh,
air.
just missing every time.
Yep.
he's not traveled far.
No.
What
he
is-
with you always.
Is that right?
For Rearda?
Should I keep him like this?
How does he seem?
Same as always.
I think
Genuinely.
he's the best one to answer that question. If you do see him.
I mean, if it causes him no pain, it does not seem as though he's suffering. I don't see the harm in it.
I'm gonna go ahead and sheathe my sword.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he has unfinished business on this plane still.
As do we. Time to get going.
All right.
You guys would start seemingly moving ahead. You two would walk out. You'd see a snow leopard and yell and low.
Retora?
No, I found the snow leopard.
Cool! You found it down here?
Yeah.
You didn't know that snow leopards notoriously live underground?
You didn't know that?
I've never seen
Are
one.
they in earshot? Can I hear them gaslighting him?
They would be like 40 feet away from you, speaking in normal tones, so probably not.
Okay.
Do we see Felix like Slenderman posing in the middle of the road waiting for us?
That's up to Felix.
Felix
I don't get to determine how Felix stands.
No, I would be looking out.
I'd like to think Felix just T-poses every time he stops playing.
Is it friendly?
Oh, it's totally
Concluded
friendly,
by
yes.
action.
I'm gonna walk over, very gingerly, hand stretched out, just
Careful, Nesker!
of what?
Oh, that. I've got
Open
Teeth.
open your mouth.
big teeth.
Fangs.
Oh,
All right, maybe I won't pet it then.
You gotta know how to.
It's probably for the best.
Where did you find it?
It's just wandering around down here.
And I just walked up to you and
Yeah.
you got a friend.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I do.
Sometimes you just gotta know how to talk to animals,
Did
man.
you all notice the staining at the bottom of these buildings?
Yeah, the
Staining?
water stains, yeah.
I think it's blood, actually.
Huh?
Lots of blood.
Blood.
Yes. Oh, you're the expert.
High enough.
Seem like blood to you?
He's just trying to get you to lick some more
In
stones.
what way would you attempt to validate the blood claim?
I would like to think that as a being that enjoys the taste of blood,
Yeah.
that like in the same way that person.
I knew it was gonna happen.
She'd like to lick this building.
Yeah, I mean if it smells appealing or
What the
tastes
fuck?
Because of its age, it would feel rancid. Like actively skunked like old bad wine.
Like milk.
But
Milk
blood.
old.
Still blood.
Ah, yes.
But like-
milk blood.
Yeah, it's definitely blood. I don't.
It's past its good
It's-
date.
What sort
It
of
expired.
what sort of thing could produce this much blood?
Anything with a heart, probably.
It's
We just look around the city. It's a big fucking heart.
nearly 10 inches high in places. It's on every building I've seen.
I mean, it would take a lot of bodies to make that amount of blood.
Like a blood
And
flood.
there are no bodies,
no
but there
bodies.
is staining from that much blood.
I mean, there are no bodies, but there are plenty of buildings. I don't know what
There are no
bodies were.
bones.
I did have a thought.
You have a blood
Okay.
thought?
Yes, hooray!
I'm so glad we
not
brought
a
Iris.
blood thought because I just learned about the blood.
A
Just
completely unrelated thought to the question I'm asking.
Correct. Correct.
Give me your cheek.
Yes, that's Cryptonia thoughts.
I had a thought.
So young blood.
Oh, okay. Now I have even thought.
Caress.
Does anybody take a kiss of opportunity?
Caress.
On the coins, it says.
On what now?
Oh, I passed it around for everyone to see.
no, you passed it around to me and Iris.
Pass what
Blind
around?
coin.
We were in a building.
Yeah, they were at
I
different
was up
places.
here with
You're
my
you're
I'm over
just
here.
catching
Newly
up with
found
them.
snow
My bad.
leopard.
Yeah, no,
and
no,
his
On
it's
the
okay.
street.
blood quandary.
I found a coin in that house in a footlocker in an attic. And I'd show the back of it.
Run that by me again. Where was it?
I found it in the footlocker
In and out.
in an attic
In a house.
in that building.
Which one?
And I'd point to the one.
Yeah,
It was the first one.
building
First one I saw.
Lucky.
And I would show them the back or the wings.
the minting.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then I would go, the word says we have
Faith stand united.
faith stand united.
Good guess.
How did you know?
You're good at this.
I'm picking up on these
Yeah.
things.
This is now one of many places we found that have fallen.
That sounds like a cult.
Are we sure it's fallen? I mean, there is a lot of blood.
I think the blood may be connected.
No bodies, no bones.
Connected to what?
The thought I'm having.
Oh,
Maybe.
Caress.
The thought I'm having
caress.
is we know, we as characters know that gods are not worshipped.
Mhm.
Correct? Okay.
Faith in the Nameless is specifically what it's called.
And I told you that none of them exist.
He told you that they're all dead.
Yes.
Exact. Correct. That's going to
Wow.
be relevant.
Here.
What
We,
now?
Spoiling
we know
Christmas.
that there's faith in the nameless, that
Yes.
the people do not worship gods.
Yes.
What if the fallen king was once a god?
I don't think that's the case.
And this city is connected to the fallen king in some way.
Why would we assume that that is the case?
I think the fallen king is from this other place that Iris mentioned.
This is the first full city we have found down here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just the first we found. We did find a fallen city earlier.
You said you didn't find any bones.
No bones, no bodies, no
In-
clothes dropped in places if they were raptured, nothing.
In this area.
Yes, in this area.
Perhaps maybe there was a sacrifice made somewhere else within the limits.
I mean, they could have gone to a communal meeting place to leave.
That
I
is my thought.
Sprout my wings. I could see if I see a mass of bodies.
Hello. Let's go to the cathedral. Where they would probably have gathered.
I mean, save your
Did we see a cathedral?
I'm making
don't
an
know if
assumption.
Oh.
Is there a any difference in the like seemingly the height of the blood that we've seen?
Like I said, it's predominantly between 10 and 12 inches,
Mm-hmm.
so there would be some, but not massive spikes.
Yeah, not
Like
not
It
a
would
wave.
look like
not
there
like
was
it
a
was
flow
flowing.
to it.
Yeah, if there was a stain from a wave.
Correct.
Possibly.
in a way that we could discern a direction.
Blood wave.
Inward.
What? You said you saw the blood in the building you were investigating, Yalomla?
I saw it in the building we investigated as well.
You saw it on the perimeter of the building that you were investigating, not inside.
That
Is that building nearby? I would assume so, right?
We're like standing right
We're in
outside
front of it. Yeah.
You're like the forge that.
Sure.
Yes, that you guys would be
Oh.
like 15, 20 feet in.
Is there a door on that
Did you find
building?
anything in there?
No.
Did you find anything cool in there?
Uh,
Anything pointy?
kind of got hung up on the
Are there doors on any of the buildings by us?
blood. I
Or
mean,
does it
it's
seem like,
Yeah,
open. You could
strangely,
glance.
most of the buildings don't have doors?
No, the buildings seem to have doors.
Have any of you noticed that as well?
What?
That there are no doors on any of these buildings?
I mean, I didn't have
Mhm.
doors
No,
on
look
any.
around. No doors.
Did you have
Building
doorways,
seems like
though?
the doors have been either removed or broken.
Are there remnants
They look
of
like they
broken
used
doors?
to have doors.
They look like they used to have doors.
Mm.
That's fucking
It's
weird.
a little different, yeah.
Kind of strange.
Perhaps they were made of wood and they've rotted away.
I don't think so. We saw one where half the door was still there and it was stone, correct?
Correct.
I think the doors might have been removed. By what, I'm not sure, but I
Were
think
there
they're-
remnants of door inside of house? I don't know why I'm talking like a caveman.
remnant door inside
Remnant
house.
For
doors
hers, because it
in
was
the
a
house.
stone door that would have slid into the wall.
It's a
Give-
pocket door?
Yeah, to get
Fuck yeah, these
Dude,
people are advanced.
yeah. To give the description, part of the door was still visible within. However, part of it had been broken and was rubble at the bottom, barring it from being pulled or pushed again.
Oh, okay.
So it had gone in and seemingly incurred some kind of wrath or destruction
Shoved in so hard it breaks.
With-
now
with-
doesn't open close.
with great vigor.
Okay, I am turning into a caveman. I'm a
So-
little worried.
I am
Open close no
concerned
more.
that what might have been the demise of this city, I thought might have been.
we don't know that the city is dead.
The city was obviously attacked. A lot of these buildings are knocked to rubble.
The city as we know it now may not be empty.
We don't know who still
Well,
lives
the-
here.
What
we
I'm
can only
saying is-
speculate
That
so
found
much
it.
from this much of the city.
What I'm speculating, though, is that what I originally thought was perhaps maybe something hit, whether, I don't know if I know what comets are, but
Yeah, you would have seen falling stars.
so perhaps a fallen star had hit the area, but the fact that the doors are missing, I'm wondering if there was just some greater being that might have done this.
Yalumno found a snow leopard.
Do you still really not know that that's...
And I'm gonna cut you off and just go. "Psst, psst, 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 psst."
So these buildings may
I'll
not
do the
be
cat
empty.
thing.
Cool. It's a cool
That's a
cat.
very fair point.
So, anyways, as I was saying, we can only speculate so far. I think Felix wants to press onward.
All right,
And
I
I'm
would like to
afraid
as
if
well.
we hang back too long, he might
Wander.
run ahead.
Felix, give me 1 second.
I'm like 40 feet away.
Give me 1 second. And you can still hear me.
Well, you know I can see you, so I'm
Yeah.
just like...
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a peek inside. Is there anything pointy?
Inside the
Inside the forge.
black
Is there
pit.
anything cool in here?
I mean, there's definitely old, very rusted, very thoroughly patinaed, like axes, warhammers, mauls, long swords. but they look like they are in atrocious shape.
None of them are, in my opinion, worth picking up.
No.
With like my training and stuff. Like
No,
I know that these would break.
You would, yes, exactly. You would look at them and be like, I think if I picked that up off the wall, it might separate from its hilt and just shatter. Like ancient, old shit.
Like the kind of stuff that they excavate with a brush.
Correct.
Since it is a forge,
Yeah.
is there any salt in bags anywhere?
Like me to taste it and find
Salt
out.
boy.
The walls are made of salt.
The salt expert is here.
Vorse, the salt collector.
Salt
the
connoisseur, if you
salt
will.
baron at this point. I mean, he's got so much salt.
Not yet.
I would say that there would be a
The
small pouch
Sultan.
of salt.
How did you
Sure.
not?
He's not there yet.
Take the salt bag.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in my pouch and walk outside. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
While he was inside, I would have walked up to the building and taken out one of my empty vials and scraped some of the, like, blood remnants into the vial.
Blood
So
dust.
it is like, again, thousands of years old.
Yeah.
It would be very powdery and cracked. So
Yeah.
like it would just look almost to you like a red powder.
That's
inside
totally
of the vial.
fine. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You get a couple of good scrapings of red blood powder.
Very good.
Yes. While I see him scraping at it, I would, into his mind, say, some of it soaked into that sand pit over there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's any easier to transport.
Possibly.
Yeah, I'll go grab some of the sand blood, too.
Yep. Bloody sand.
You know what? I'm gonna follow him,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just a little bit, just a little, like maybe off the wall.
Sure. Absolutely. Make for me a Constitution saving throw.
Do the old mouth test.
I've been doing so bad on all these rolls. Oh yikes! That's a 4.
Plus.
Plus.
That's 8.
It's not 4.
There are worse things that it could have added.
Tummy ache.
Real raggy.
Yep.
It's fine.
This blood's been laced.
I'm here to fuck around and find out.
Blood's been laced. And Thoriel went on a
It's
trip.
salty. Ew.
We drank blood, but those people were on drugs, and now I'm a wizard.
You blink. You're 8,000 years
Oh,
in the
no.
past.
It's fine.
Oh, he rolled a lot of dice.
That's fine. I'm dead.
Well, I mean, 50-50 on, like, licking stuff. I mean,
That's
this is,
fair.
you know,
It hasn't
Pretty
done
good.
wrong
You
yet.
win
Pretty good
some,
odds.
you lick some.
So you, as again, you
that salt?
flake some off of the wall itself, and you take a small taste of it on your tongue. It feels immediately to you, again, as previously indicated, like skunked, as though it is a soured. When you let it parse over your tongue, you take 9 poison damage. You feel immediately like there is something almost... So, like, again, when we think of blood, we typically just associate with, like, the metallic iron taste to it, where it's got that, like, notable palate to it of it instantly stings in the back of your throat. This, you feel your tongue go numb at the spot at which the blood touches. You're a person that is somewhat affiliated with medicine to a degree and grew up with sufficient fey immersion in your ancestry that, in layman's term, it would feel like it's anesthetizing your tongue. Like a numbing agent.
Oh.
uh-huh.
Oh, boy.
Numb blood.
Yeah, I would tell everybody that there's something different about this blood.
Where did you like, were you outside when you licked the thing?
So he went to go like scrounge up some blood, and I kind of followed behind him while he's like sifting the sand. I'm like,
I'm asking if you're visible, because if I
Yeah.
see you lick the stuff that I'm like, that's fucking, I'm gonna walk back up to the group.
yeah, that's fine.
What are you doing?
I mean, what better idea of understanding the people that were once here than by tasting the blood?
them.
Your tongue's numb, so
I
we're a better way.
I thought it'd be a good idea.
Genuinely, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You
what's
do
what's wrong
kind
with
of
you?
mumble and slur
So I thought that
Please explain yourself in great detail.
if I tasted the blood that was on the wall, then maybe it could give us some answers about who was out here.
Can I see your face?
No, so covered.
I'll gesture. I'll be like,
The blood in my tongue.
let me see. Say
Thanks.
Her tongue is black.
Can I medicine check that or?
So like
I had the tattoo a couple years
a
back. It was a college
reasonable
thing.
curvature along the tip and top of her tongue is blackened.
I would, stand upon
Yeah, can
saying
I?
that.
I guess can
Do
I
you
like,
want to feel her tongue? You're very welcome to in terms of my perspective. but
and
like,
attempt
that's,
to
that's a
medicine-
player-to-player interaction.
attempt to medicine check it? Yeah.
Sure, yeah, no, make a medicine check.
Icky.
Ooh, it's really not good. I'm not good at medicine.
I
I'm
know.
Not a medicine man. That's outside. It was a high roll. It was a 14 on the die.
Okay.
You got it.
God damn it! That was a 17 on the die. Come on.
You're wasting them.
Natural 20.
Now, Felix.
You're gonna regret saying
I
that.
did take my glove off specifically. I did say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
Your hands were always a little wet.
Yep.
Your fingers stick to her tongue as though the water coating has touched a frozen pole.
Oh. So I have water on me. Hold on, let me check shape water again.
Please go! Please, for the love of God, get her off.
is just standing. So glad I joined the party.
Hold on,
Right?
I gotta find it.
I know. Yep.
Where is it?
So yeah, Felix Gray's fingers are just stuck pinching your tongue. You start to after a couple of seconds. This is fucking weird.
I would pull out my
Knife.
I'll summon the sword.
Yeah, so I can't heat water for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So
I pull out one of my candles and I light it and I hold it under her tongue and I open my healer. I kind of run it along the sides and I pop in my healer's kit and take a very little bit of one of the salves out and like sprinkle it over the tongue and like, come on.
that hurts. That hurts.
A moment goes by. It's fucking warm. It's really unpleasant and uncomfortable. I will say that you're gonna have to try to still rip your fingers off.
I'm not gonna rip because I don't want to rip her tongue out. So I'm gonna.
I'll
I'm
tell
gonna be
you,
masked and with a terrible
to
list.
be direct, this isn't ice. Like, I respect
feels
that you're
like ice.
attempting to melt
So
this.
what does the water look like at contact with the tongue? So from my does it look like it's frozen or does it still look like it's liquid?
It looks like it's a thin, clear liquid. It does not look like it's got icicle
Like you've been glued
texture
there.
to it. It looks
Oh, it's
like
resin.
glue.
What?
It would
Okay,
look
so I'm
like
going
resin.
to attempt to freeze it,
Sure. Yeah.
changing the structure and allowing me to
Absolutely.
just.
It crystallizes, and now, yes, you can crack your fingers
Yeah.
out. It's, again, very unpleasant, and you would see that there is still, at the edges of her tongue, around the areas in which it's blackened, what would look like resin, where it's a very clear substance, would have solidified, cracked off, and chipped. So you would see, like, small pieces of sharp. chipped
Right.
resin on the edge of her tongue.
I'm gonna pull out my patented Felix Gray's always wet napkin and wipe my hands off.
I'm gonna pull out my flask and hand it to you.
So what my natural 20
So
medicine
you can
check.
rinse with some
I'm
alcohol.
sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. Forgot.
As I did that.
This would feel to you incredibly unorthodox because of the waxy-like consistency of it.
Okay.
You would assume it's got a reasonably high either fat content or comes from something that produces oils.
Oils. I'd share that with the group.
Very good.
High fat
He
content
gives you
in
a
oils.
flask, I'm assuming, of like whiskey or some other like really intense
To, like,
alcohol.
wrap my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, again, you still have like, you know, they would start to naturally fade as a moment or so would pass. You would be
That's actually a good
poisoned for 1 minute. The poison condition would fall off, or in the course of this minute, the resin pieces would naturally slough off, and your tongue would return to its normal color. You would rinse your mouth out with this whiskey or whatever alcohol Vorse gives you. Bleh. Kind of feel like you're back to normal. You now just have like the, you know, the vapors of alcohol residing in your palate.
The
But
traumatic memory of having Felix's finger stuck to you.
So what you were describing, you meant her tongue or what she licked?
for the waxy property, the fatty property.
Yeah, the fatty oil, her tongue.
That would be not her tongue. It would be the like resin-like
The coating.
liquid that would have coated. So like it would not have shown up. It would have looked like saliva when you looked at her tongue.
Right.
When you put your fingers to it, it naturally hardened.
And that's what
Correct.
like dripped from her tongue, and then now her tongue's fine. Okay,
Correct.
so that's what it is. Okay.
Correct.
Right. So he said it had like a fatty or oily content to it, and I said the blood that she put in her mouth.
If anybody would like to help me cleanse my palate.
We just
You're
gave
good.
yourself-
He just described you
Yeah, I
cleansing.
gave
You're
you-
good.
I'll just
I gave
point
you
out
alcohol
that that's
with it.
blood.
Yes, she was.
Bad blood taste out of
She was checking to see if it was. Well, I'm not exactly sure what she was doing, but and I'm gonna point to where the blood stains are at the base of the building.
Yeah.
It's on most of the buildings. It looks like there was a large amount of blood in the whole area.
I have some of it.
Yes, he has some. She's tasted some. You've
I
touched
figure
some.
if I can, in the future, reconstitute it with some
like
water.
A spray bottle?
Yes, perhaps I can
You,
perform my
so you
ritual
did a
and get
ritual?
some. Yes, and get some sort of indication as to what has happened here.
Just look at you disappointed.
I would be very. I think we should do that really as soon as possible.
Did you see what it just did to
Yeah,
her
I
tongue?
don't. I don't know what that blood consists of. I've never tasted blood like that. That's
Hello.
something else.
Hello. As a medicine boy,
Yes.
do I have any inkling or knowledge of anything like this that might have been
Blood man?
added to blood to solidify it on a wound or something that would like result in anything like I saw on her tongue?
You would know that certain creatures in the wild have venom that absolutely spur coagulation in the blood or prevent coagulation of the blood.
Okay. Very good.
Yep.
That.
Prevent.
Ether,
Yes.
Tora,
Yes.
what do elven libraries usually look like?
I have never been in one. I lived in a small lake town.
Talking to Retora, she's not even here.
Would I have been in an elven
are you not?
library?
Oh, that's right. I don't know if
Would I
Retora's
have
there.
been
Yeah,
in
that's
an
right.
elven library?
Feyorn would have had one, and Delawin would have had you work in one briefly with him for assistance in terms of just reading materials as you were doing druidic
I
stuff.
would look at Yalumlo.
Has anyone seen Retora?
I just pointed the snow
Yes.
leopard.
Yeah. She is right there. Nestor.
Why did we talk about all the leash thing?
Into her mind, I'll say, the jig is up.
I would describe the libraries that I've seen to Yalumlo.
Yeah, I'll say whatever that is back out loud to Nesgrim.
I, Sarah, do not know what those libraries would have looked like.
Looked like?
Yeah.
Well, Feyorn would have been a forest city, so I mean, it would have looked like a sprawling rectangular building, very large and long and tall. So, you know, realistically, probably 200 feet by 400, 500, 600 feet, like a massive building. It would have been high arcing, A-framed. Would common again for elven buildings to have spiral adornments in terms of nicely decorated and well-designed architecture as a universal thing for elves.
I would describe that to Yalumlo.
Yeah, absolutely. She describes that to you like I said.
And I would reiterate it to the group.
Fantastic. Everybody now here knows what an elven library looked like.
Felix,
Yes.
what do dwarven libraries look like? The goal here, of course, being I'm going to look for a building that looks similar to
matching
one of these.
the architectural styles that we would be able to.
I feel like we're our roles are reversed here. I wanted to go to this city center and look for a cathedral. Since this is a place of faith.
I didn't figure you a holy man.
I would also like to check a cathedral, but I know Iris is looking for a library. So I was hoping to find Iris a library.
I mean, I think it'd probably be easier to look around, and if something looks like a library, then we can kind of go from there.
I mean, don't cathedrals typically have libraries?
I will also reiterate that my primary concern is of the children.
Well, yes.
The books would be neat.
Yes.
Children alive would be neater.
This city is also very large based on how far this seems to extend. I'm not sure that we could reach the center without getting too far
Oh yeah, don't get me
away.
wrong. If we incidentally stumble across a library, I'd be elated to look in and try to do whatever I could to pilfer some knowledge that would assist you all.
We should
I just don't want us to wander around looking for a library if it's not in the direction of our escape. Our escape is my utmost concern.
Of course.
I'm also concerned about what tainted the blood that made it do what it did.
Yeah, predominantly. I'd
Tainted
like
the blood?
If that was of mortal blood, it did not do what mortal blood typically does.
Oh,
And,
that's weird.
yeah, so I can't help but think that maybe it was afflicted with something, and I don't know what did the infliction, so I would like to move quickly if possible.
Cursed blood.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Whatever
Yeah.
it was a long time ago, yes?
Do you know anything about cursed blood, Iris?
Not in the
No, what
least.
still lurks.
This is
I
hallowed
just don't want
ground.
this to become another Bahir
Yes.
situation.
I think
The rat monster. And
Yeah, I'm like, I
Valfire.
like just listen. I just
Yeah. So like, whatever did that, I just kind of want to make sure that we don't run into that, or the children don't run into that.
Do I see anything reminiscent of like a signpost?
Nope.
Understandable.
have a good day.
Well, I think we can
end is
explore
nigh.
just a little bit deeper. Ether, if you want to mark our way in. I don't want to get lost in this plethora of
How would you
buildings.
mark your way in?
Using the chalk.
In what way? Again, like this
Yeah.
is hundreds and
Yeah.
hundreds of feet in
And it's
width.
also white stone buildings.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
White stone buildings, and the ground is gritty, so like it's breakable rocks.
I mean, does anyone have a compass?
I'll just.
I'm
scratch
assuming
the
they
ground.
gave me the.
They would have given,
Yeah.
they would have given you the orb of time and orb of direction.
Orb of
back,
direction.
Yes, so he has an orb of direction.
Just head towards one direction. It's also pretty expansive. I could fly over if we absolutely needed to.
I was gonna say too, if anybody has anything awfully specifically smelly, I could probably smell track our way back around.
The blood's pretty
Yeah.
stinky.
Yeah, I know, but it's kind of everywhere.
I will. I'll pull out
Piss on the floor.
some of the sprinkling of the frozen chili spice and
Yes.
sprinkle it in a little pile in front of us so that Vorse could at least track back to this point.
I'm gonna tell you for the sake of realism, like you've got a small vial, like
Sure.
throwing like a splash of cayenne on the ground,
Sure.
despite him having a fantastic nose, it might work for a little bit.
Sure.
But like you're gonna have to put a substantial enough amount of that to also overwhelm the scent of the fucking blood everywhere.
If only I had my 5 pounds of soap powder.
Yeah, right? Like, again,
Fuck.
for the sake of, it's a small vial. It's not
Sure.
like you have the
Arthur has
5-pound bag.
Sure.
If I
Yeah,
s-
it's only a pound.
Yeah, Scrim, can you
If I
can you,
scratch
like,
the
vomit
ground, does it-
on command?
Like leave a mark.
Yeah.
I'll just
Would you?
scratch
Okay.
the ground and like a cat does mark.
You leave a bunch of scritches in the stone.
All right, I think we should continue on forward.
I could light a block of incense.
I think we have plenty of options to
I was
probably
gonna say
find a
too.
way
Does she
back.
smell like a snow leopard? Like, does she smell like an actual snow leopard, or does she just still smell like Retora just as a cat?
I would think she would probably smell like the animal she becomes. That would be my guess. That would be the ruling that I'll make for now and in perpetuity, that you smell like the animal you wild shape into.
Cats can scent mark.
Oh, no.
Not by pissing on stuff.
Well,
Shell.
That's what the
They have
scratching
scent
is.
glands.
Just rub my face on everything as I
Yeah.
walk past it.
You are our direction. Yeah, I would. If I have to, I would point that out to Retora and be like, "You can scent mark stuff with your face."
I can also scratch things.
How's
Scent
that
mark,
weird?
mark them with my claws.
I think we should continue forward.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm. you
If
know,
at any point in the distance you see a big, tall thing, please announce it.
So,
Anything in general?
That's taller than everything else? Yes.
As we begin moving, I would like to cast flight.
Sure.
That's a 4 + 3.
Yeah. You don't burn out. You're fine.
Same thing?
Yeah.
Great. I'm going to
You going up?
also cast True Sight.
Sure.
3.
Yep. You're fine.
I will share with everybody that magical energy is restored when we use it.
But
Immediately.
what does that mean?
You won't.
Cast a spell.
Yeah, the magic here feels like it's amplified.
I'll cast Bless on 3 people.
Absolutely. Roll your burnout die.
Cast blindness and deafness on 8.
Burnout.
Good luck, kids.
I'm gonna cast catapult on a random rock.
You spell slot back.
I'll let you know I have blind sight.
You cast catapult on a rock.
And
On a
3
random
foot
rock.
Shoot a rock 300 feet. It crashes into some random nonsensical thing 300 feet away. You feel your magic reinvigorated and your spell slot comes back to you.
Does it make a lot of noise?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it crashes. You know, it's a large echoey chamber here. Like, it absolutely would. It has great acoustics.
Does there look like there's a bigger building towards the center? Is there any taller building that stands out amongst the rest of them?
To be blunt, yes. Like, also to be blunt, this is miles long. You guys are going to need to walk for a substantial amount of time before, if you're just looking for the large-scale buildings or something symbolizing to you that you might be entering into a city center, you will probably hit something like that, depending upon the directions that we go. If we go directly east, we're probably in the right area, but it's going to take you roughly 45 minutes of in-game walking. So, like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, like, it's miles long. This
Okay.
is like we're in Fishtown and we're walking to Center City. Like, this is not a fucking easy walk.
Right.
This is gonna take us time. If we want to just say that that's what our goal is and ask about meaningful things en route, we can check with Aether's PP and give us the information en route.
The only question I'd have is after I activate True Sight, if I look at the buildings and the blood and all the weird shit. No
Absolutely.
doors.
Yeah.
Do I see anything? Because I can see into the ethereal plane. Do I see anything fucking weird?
Nope.
No invisible creatures, objects, nothing?
No invisible
Okay.
creatures, no
No
invisible
illusions?
objects,
Okay.
no illusions. You see nothing in regards in the ethereal plane. You would just see the very thin ethereal outlines of a lot of these buildings, but
Right.
nothing occupying
No creepy
them.
bones or
No
veins in
creepy
them?
bones, no
Okay.
creepy moving objects, no oozes going around. Genuinely nothing.
All right.
That's good. Were there any other questions that we wanted to have me answer before we're beginning the process of moving? I'll then move to answering questions while we're in the process of moving.
I would like to ask Iris.
Sure.
Would you like to come along with us for the walk? We're gonna begin walking to see what we can find.
Certainly. I mean, I would love to be whatever way I can assist you all.
I know your priority is the children.
Yeah, again, they do have sufficient guardians for them. I just don't want us delaying unnecessarily and trying to walk through 7,000 buildings. We will genuinely be down here for days. That puts the children at an unnecessary risk in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Me walking with you is absolutely amenable.
Perfect.
Thank you for the invitation.
Of course.
Anyone else any questions before we begin the process of moving?
Well, would you like to walk with us?
I swear to God.
And you thought I would be the problem.
Right? Anyone else anything for the pre-movement era?
Hi ho,
We are
hi ho.
in the movement. Like, again, I don't want us to feel like we need to roleplay walking 6 miles. We don't. No. It is okay if we don't. But I do need this place to be a distance.
Yes.
So we walk through residential areas. Your PP is huge. That's the name of the residence.
Yeah.
You would see genuinely, again, same thing. As you move inwards towards the city, you would see, as Sarah was questioning earlier, a noticeable increase in the height in the staining on the bases of the buildings. Buildings are still dilapidated, destroyed in the very same mannerisms, types. Doors from all the homes removed, broken. Some of them might be stone and cracked in two on the floors outside of the houses. For the buildings, if they were wooden, they would be mostly gone. You might see maybe remnants of the thickest portions of the 2x4s that would have used as the horizontal latching for locking. Doors removed and stripped away. windows would still be intact. They do have glass down here, so the windows would still be present. It would be the doors that would have been disbarred.
So it
any
wasn't like an
stained-
enormous force thing happened and shattered the door and the windows.
With windows being at comparable height at certain points, you would be able to infer that based upon many of the houses that you would pass by, yes.
The windows are clear, not
Windows are clear.
stained or anything.
None
like
of the windows for the homes are stained.
All of them are clear, right?
All of them are clear.
Okay.
They might be dusty, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
again, they would be dusty, but they would not have any ornamental stain.
Doors, but
appearances.
doors open, windows unblocked.
Correct. Doors would not be open. They would have been
Right,
damaged
right,
or
right,
removed.
right,
Yes. I
yeah.
just do need to make sure that I am clear.
So everybody can see in and out and right. It's fucking creepy.
Yeah, like again, it's a bad place.
Unsettling.
Like it's supposed to be unnerving. Yes.
Passing by several houses now at this point.
Yeah, you're
seeing
passing
front
like
sides, yeah.
hundreds of houses.
Do any of them look like they have any sort of sigils around, like at the top of the door or around the sides of the door?
No. It's
Okay.
a very good idea. None of the houses look like they are carved with markings in any way, attributing them some kind of faith-based moniker or anything of that sort. No. Anyone else questions for the process of during the move?
Where's Ritora?
Leopard doing leopard things. I don't know if you would have done anything different or just walked calmly and peacefully with
Sniffing, rubbing my face on
Yep.
buildings,
Sure.
leaving scratch marks.
You do
What?
need to.
Are there things that aren't buildings? Everything's covered in blood, right?
Everything is pretty covered in blood. You just want to, would you do it in the areas in which the blood is, or would you try to, at least to the best of your degree, avoid the blood
Are
stained
there areas where there isn't,
Yeah, again, it only goes up roughly 10 to 12 inches. As we start moving maybe a quarter mile, a half a mile into the city, you would see that height on the base for the erosion for the blood stain would then hit 14 and 15, 16, 17,
grows from where
18,
the surge
20,
originated,
21
yeah.
inches in
I
height.
mean, I would...
You would start to hit points where it would be hard for you as a snow leopard to find spots on the house.
I mean, at that point, I would probably just start scratching the sides of the building instead of rubbing my face on it.
Sure.
Cats have scent markers in their paws as well, so...
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Anyone else questions for during the movement era?
After an hour, you guys lose your 300 feet. Sorry. It's just how the spell works, man.
Nosgrim has a rock illuminating.
I give myself dark vision.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, wait.
I would want to Misty Step at least once during this process just to experience what it's like to get that power back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I won't burn out.
As long as you don't burn out, yeah, you get it back. So it would feel like to you utilize the spell as you feel that spiritual essence of you consumed, exhausted by the efforts to produce a magical occurrence. You would feel reinvigorated like you woke up from a morning's rest.
Sure.
Anything else about that?
Nope. Just wanted to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else, anything during the movement phase? For you in the distance, do you still have 300 feet because you can continually...
Yes, I do.
Sure. You would see the first person in the distance would notice that you would hit a point where after walking roughly a mile to a mile and a half, it would open outward in the notion that there would no longer be residential buildings. You would hit a point where it would hit open cavern, where you would see on the outskirts buildings, but as though it has widened its berth. As though you're hitting an area...
Farmer's market type thing, right?
Possibly a farmer's market, or
like a
again,
square.
a town square. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Are there are pillars holding this cavern up, correct?
There are natural stone walls holding it on the outsides of the corridors. There are some very large natural form stone pillars, that you would pass by at random points that would be incredibly thick and chunky. Where they would-
This isn't just an unsupported open cavern, correct? Okay.
Yes.
And the ceiling is within my 300 feet?
Yeah, the ceilings in here do stretch up to 200 to 220
Okay.
feet. in
I was just
height,
making
so,
sure it wasn't past 300. I was
they're-
like, Jesus fucking Christ.
They're big, but it's 200, 250 between that, because again, it's not going to be an even elevation throughout. It's not uniform. But yes, DJ is correct. You hit an area in which obviously it feels like it's a town square. Again, the width of the location feels as though it opens up. You can see that in this area, there's absolutely remnants, despite being cracked and damaged, of the same quartzite being used for the buildings, having been used as large stone slabs supporting what would feel like a road or a thoroughfare. It would feel like it is a square that builds towards a center. So if you're walking and it goes like this, there would be a clear rectangular shape moving inward still. It would not be the full width of the cavern here. It would be a small portion of the epicenter of the cavern. But you would definitely see they look like big fucking thin rectangular blocks, but they would look wide fucking cut, like 8 to 10 feet rectangular shaped, forming this thoroughfare, where it wouldn't be straight lined. It would be having been damaged, cracked, splayed apart. You would be able to see in the distance with your 300 feet what you would know, because you've seen them in Oshuamp, at the center of this rectangular-like area, you would see a tall, standing fountain with a statue in the center. From a distance, you would see that the fountain would look as though it stands roughly 2 feet in height for the exterior walls. Again, you're 300 feet away, so it's difficult for me to say that you can easily pinpoint that. As you guys get within a reasonable distance of it, 2-ish feet high, it looks like it is 4 conjoined squares shaped into a diamond pattern. In the center of said diamond, you would see that there is an opening for where there would be a circle, almost like, not a circle, it would be a smaller diamond in the center of this grander diamond. There would be a statue standing aloft from it.
So 4 blocks.
Correct.
Positioned in a diamond with a thing on top.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So like
space open in the middle, like a rhombus shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where there would be a smaller one that would be serving as a pedestal for the statue that is splayed in the center. There would be currently no water, obviously, sprout out from the fountain.
Is the statue humanoid size?
It is a humanoid figure of a man standing in what would, to me, is difficult to describe in actual verbalized language. He would look hunched over, singular hand held aloft. You would see the other arm, because you'd be looking at it kind of like from the side, so it wouldn't necessarily appear like it's easily to discern if it was holding something or doing something with this closer to its
Shielded
body
arm.
hand, maybe shielding something, but something, the other arm would be up like this, angled, elbow curved, hand up towards the sky, palm exposed. So like yonder.
Head looking up or head down?
Head looking up.
Okay. And is he humanoid size, or is he a little bit larger than life?
He would be larger than life. It is a statue. It would be difficult for you to determine if it's because it's a statue or if it's because he was actually a humanoid that was bigger.
Yeah, no, I was just curious.
Not wildly larger, maybe 6.5.
We're not talking
to
like
7
David
feet.
proportions.
Correct. Yeah, no, like 6.5 to 7 feet in height, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely point out that there's a statue and a fountain up there, and it looks like it's holding something.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's holding something, or it looks like it's pointing towards something?
Both. There's a hand up and another hand doing something I can't tell. He's looking up though.
If you continue to walk closer, I will tell you that again, because you're seeing it from a side view.
Yeah.
You'd be seeing it mostly from its back and its shoulder, its elbow, its arm. As you get closer to it, you can see once again off the back of it, small but still demonstrably there, would be the points of wings over the scapular / collarbone regions, folded in against its back, not splayed out, holding again its hand aloft like this, hand open, palm upwards. If you get within like 20 to 30 feet of it, you can see that in its hand, it would be the elbow curled against the body, tucked tight,
Holding a baby, right?
open palm,
No.
holding not a baby.
That's just what I thought was
That's
like
what I
that with the
kept thinking,
posing.
yeah.
It's like this is the child.
Absolutely, I know as well. You would see, as you get closer to it in the hand here, you would see that there would look like a small, again, it's still a statue, but a round-shaped bowl.
In the upper hand?
Lower hand.
Lower hand.
Like this.
Like an offering bowl.
Yeah,
Any
offering.
placards or anything around it?
absolutely.
And then the top hand is empty.
Top hand is empty. It is palm open, slightly angled, open towards the roof.
And I'm assuming the bottom hand would be flat but down enough that viewers upon the statue can see the palm and see the bowl, right? It's not like,
Yes.
oh, what is that? Oh, it is a bowl?
Yes.
But like we can almost see into the bowl but not fully.
Correct.
Yeah.
What does the placard
There's an
say?
easy way to do this.
I don't know if this is the easier way.
This is the hard way.
I like this way.
No, this is John. Hey, Mr. DM, I just
Yeah.
have a quick question.
Paul and I are over here doing blood calculations.
Yeah, approximately how many hundreds of houses have we passed? I'm bored. I'm counting.
At this point, like with
There's no
going
trees,
roughly a mile and a half,
Yeah.
the houses are not huge. They're only like between 300 and 600 square feet. They're very small domiciles. That's why a lot of them are, 2 to 3 stories high, so this way they can
Oh
satisfy.
fuck! I'm actually stuck. I can't write now.
Genuinely, you would have passed probably 3,000 to 4,000 houses, 5,000 houses between the two sides.
Yeah, we're just gonna do this rough. You said there were 300 square feet.
Between 300 to 400 square feet for the houses.
So I was smaller on the houses.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, so we're gonna do 4,000 houses.
So far.
Are you trying to calculate how much
For-
blood it
for
takes
the-
to fill a house?
No, how much blood there is.
So far.
Many.
Not enough.
Gotta calculate
We need
the
more.
angle
We
of
need yours.
This guy gets it.
of
give
the
your blood.
wave.
4,000 houses so far.
I'm not taking integrals. Get away from me.
Just give your blood up.
No.
How many
John-
burrows?
We're doing this math.
What's the part? What's the
Do you
part
happen to
saying?
know how much blood
Many.
In terms of what liters for what I'm aiming for here?
Ounces.
between you know,
You don't have to. You don't have to tell us. I'm calculating.
if you've got about
Milliliters,
12
damn it.
inches
If I had a Yeti cup.
entirely surrounding the
We're
perimeter
55 million
of
cubic
every
inches
home,
of blood.
It's a grunt.
and it progressively gets higher,
Yep.
and it's continuing as we approach the middle
Yeah.
of a city.
Yeah.
If we assume that it at the center radiates out in every direction for about that same amount of distance.
Yep.
About how much blood?
A lot of blood.
About how much blood?
Like at least
Whole
7.
lot of blood.
I'd like a number.
Do you like metric?
Big number.
Big blood.
Metric fuck ton.
Metric fuckload of blood.
Body. Hey, Don, welcome to the list. Cubic inches of blood in human body.
Do you know?
No. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time doing that math.
I am,
Yeah, go right
because
the
I'm
fuck
traveling
ahead.
6 miles.
Yeah, you don't have like 800 other thousand things to do for DMing.
So it's a 6-mile radius, right?
I'm just
yeah.
saying, this is Felix is doing a
For,
little
for
bit
your verisimilitude, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
It's fucking too much blood,
There's a
man.
placard, man, haha, hooray.
6-mile radius.
In the center of the diamonds of the statue.
6-mile radius. Radius.
Declining slow.
Well, you're gonna get a number.
So,
I can do it
yeah.
outwardly if I need to, but
Oh, so
you could do it.
fountain is big. So like again, when I'm saying, diamond shaped, I can't draw 4 squares well enough. Maybe I kind of can. But like it's this in the center would be this pattern again repeated. This would be
We haven't discovered such.
30 feet or so, roughly.
2.
So like
you're talking like
14.
it's a large thing.
Right?
Is that the base of it?
Yes.
This much.
So top down base?
Yes, this is top down.
Oh, I see, like this.
Yes.
Okay.
So like this would be top down looking.
Got
Okay.
it.
With like,
Here in the center would be this shape again repeated. I'm not artistic enough to draw.
are these like channels
100%.
or are they
Okay.
straight up blocks?
They would look like blocks in the inlets. They would have channeling grooved into them. Like, again, if you guys want to, like, really meticulously observe the fountain, I'm happy to have that be done. There just is a consequential thing that a player is trying to do. So, like, I need to make sure that I give sufficient visible layout of this so when the thing starts to happen, we can understand what's occurring with the thing. So, diamond-shaped pattern in the center. Smaller diamond-shaped pattern mirroring this. That diamond-shaped pattern in the center is the pedestal for the statue to stand aloft. This is 30 feet, 30 feet. So it's a big fucking area. The pedestal in the center is maybe like a 5x5. The statue is about 6.5, 7 feet in height. The pedestal itself, these exterior walls are 2 feet in height. This inner pedestal is around 4 feet in height.
Is he seated in somewhat of like a relief type thing where it's like the half shell space that he's standing in, or is he standing on top of?
Standing on top of the pedestal, fully out visible.
Okay.
So you guys are here observing said fountain, and would you be doing this thing?
Is there blood in the fountain?
Fountain is empty.
I would, obviously, I'm not going to be able to do this discreetly. Everyone would see. I would walk up to it, pretty obviously.
The exterior wall of the fountain.
The interior.
You would get inside of the fountain and start to walk towards, again, the smaller pedestal in the center.
Yes.
Great. You see Nesgrim step into the empty fountain.
Nesgrim?
Be careful.
I just want to get a closer look.
Yes, but if you get that blood on you, I can't guarantee you'll make it out of that fountain.
There's no blood in the fountain.
Fountain is completely empty.
Go for it, bud.
What is written on the placard?
The placard at the front?
Yes.
Any placard.
And I would continue saying this while walking closer.
Yeah, you are moving as you're speaking.
We read it and then got into the fountain.
There's more than one placard?
One placard.
To rule them all.
The placard says the High Seraph. What's the next word?
Kabael.
Kabael Christok.
Oh, boy.
What's that word mean?
Kabael? Do I know what that word means? How about Christok? I don't know what that means either, right?
Names are not the same thing as a literary definition of a word in which you're going to use it in a sentence in which you're going to always understand context or connotation.
It's
As
celestial.
far as you know, it's just your name.
Celestial.
It's written in Celestial.
The placard is written in Celestial.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, the words. Can you spell Kabael?
Kabael.
What does it say? Kabael Christok?
Christok. Kristok.
It's not though. It's not okay.
It's far from it.
As we get closer, there's nothing in the bowl.
Nothing in the bowl that the man is
That's
holding in his
fine.
palm.
Yeah.
If you go into the again, when Glenn's like, people at a distance would probably be able to see around the height of the bowl.
No.
Yeah.
Probably. It is
Yeah,
kind
I would
of low.
I would point out this as we were approaching, just so nobody's startled by the shadow of a humanoid figure suddenly appearing.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we get up, I was only making that point about the
exactly
bowl
that.
in the
Thank you.
hand because that's the way that artists
For
usually.
perspective, it's difficult for me to make sure that I put this in detail, but it is pertinent. It would look like the hand is over
the bowl.
the bowl.
Oh.
Oh, so
like yonder.
Oh, no.
Like yonder.
Oh, no.
Like yonder.
That's
yeah, so
Yes.
yonder.
It is exactly yes.
Jonder, if you will.
Jonder.
Like perhaps.
Jondar.
Absolutely. Chell, as you approach, you would be able to see, and you as you get close as well.
Ideally, I would be several tens of feet in front of her, but
Everybody approached the fountain
Ideally.
the same way. You would have started to step into the fountain. People would have asked you a thing. It's 15 feet in towards the pedestal because it's in the center.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be 7 to 8 feet ahead of her. So
That's
mechanically in game paces, fuck squares. You're 6 to 7 feet ahead of her.
True.
I'm tired of squares.
Octagon.
You would see in the bowl as you're approaching. Again, it's for you being a reasonably tall adult. It would be a little bit about eye height, maybe a little bit under, because again, he's holding it low. You would see, for us, what we would clearly know looks like oil, but motor oil in the same way for fossil fuel, naturally occurring crude oil. covered with that still sheen prismatic slick.
You see.
So you have a stone illuminating rock. As you're approaching, you would see it would run over this. It would be stagnant and unmoving, but you would see that prismatic sheen over the oil slick in the bowl.
Rainbow black liquid.
160,000.
What,
People?
like,
So far.
Cool. I'm not that far off then.
How many?
160,000 people's blood.
If that's low, that would make sense because he started at 12 and didn't increase.
Just because my knowledge of gems isn't really there, when you shine light onto obsidian, it gives that prismatic feature to it, or no?
Obsidian does not.
no,
Okay.
obsidian's a straight white glare.
Okay. I might be thinking of like meteorite
Yeah,
or
it's
something
black
like that.
sheen.
Okay.
It's cool.
Well, I wasn't sure because like
You would
if
see oil in the bowl.
I would be careful,
it's-
Nesgrim. The blood that was stuck to her tongue turned her tongue black, and Felix indicated that it was either fatty or from something that produced oils. I would be very careful touching. I wouldn't touch that.
I would,
I would
also
be careful.
remind you too of. Do you remember the statue in Felfarthen? The one that blessed me.
Yeah.
I just want to remind you that statues can do shit if you put stuff in a bowl.
Yep.
Do you want some salt?
Nope, I'm alright for now.
I got plenty.
To start, I would roll my light stone down the side of the bowl. Not drop it, so that way it makes a big splash. But roll it down the side of the bowl so it rolls into it in a controlled manner.
Sure. Absolutely, you do. The light fades. It's very black oil.
Okay.
It obscures it.
Okay. I would pick up a new stone,
Sure.
light, so that way I have my stone back.
Sure.
And then I would do that.
Yeah. You see Nesgrim drop this rock into this bowl at this statue.
How big?
I mean, it's supposed to be pretty authentic to life size. So, again, we unfortunately do not have an accurate...
Like a collection plate.
Yeah, like twice the size of this opening.
it's like a
Dice
size
tray.
bowl.
Dice tray size, right?
Comparable to dice
A little
tray.
bit deeper, but
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
But yes, comparable to a collection plate. His stone plunks in. You see no light escaping this dark oil. And then Nesgrim picks up another rock, lights it up again, and then puts his hand out and pokes his finger and drops some glorious blood into this bowl.
Oh!
Why?
Yeah.
All right. Well, none of us are near enough to stop him.
As he does that, I'll just say 160,000 people's worth of blood.
You say that. You know, what object would you
161.
utilize to do this?
161.
Anything sharp that I have?
I don't know your inventory.
Yeah, I know.
Sword?
A dagger. I have a dagger.
You have a dagger? Yeah.
60.
Yeah. He drops in, splashes onto this oil.
Not a smart
Anything
man,
happen?
but
There's no
Not
end.
that you can discern.
You're right.
I may
Feels
not
like
be a
it
smart
just
man.
drops in. Because obviously there is a different solubility with blood and oil. And then there's different viscosities. And then there's different density in terms of the oil concentration itself. Your blood would...
Just fucking cowabunga.
While I'm in the fountain with him,
Yeah.
I would like to unsheath my dagger.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to drip my blood into it. I
Party.
would kind
Gonna trip Niz.
Oh, I've got a dagger.
I just want to like, again, very carefully as to not get any of it on me. I kind of just want to like dip my dagger into it and see if it like clings to the dagger itself.
Sure. Yeah. So Nesgrim's standing here for a few seconds, drops his blood in, hears it plunk in. Few seconds, nothing crazy happens. Again, it's roughly eye height, so you're able to like kind of peep in. You just see your blood drop through, fade away. You go up, take your bloodletting one,
No. Like I think I
a
have
regular
just a
dagger.
regular dagger.
Yeah, you go over and you dip it in. Again, the bowl's not wildly deep. You're only going to be able to get
That's
like
fine. I just want
a
a
little
tiny
bit,
bit.
yeah, absolutely. You sink the dagger in, pull it back out, and it has a dripping, very thick, viscous black oil stain.
Okay.
Just
But it is like clinging to the dagger.
Yeah.
It's not like water where it's just like on.
Not water where it just immediately falls off. It absolutely clings and sticks to it ever so slightly because it is oil.
Yeah, I'll step out of the fountain and just kind of like indicate to everybody like this is what's in that bowl. I've never seen anything really like this.
In matters of the construction of it, does it look like there's like a pathway to the bowl?
In the bottom of the fountain itself?
Yes, like a raised platform in order that, like, if the fountain was running, there's a pathway to said offering bowl.
Yeah.
Or is it strictly ceremonial? Like, no, it's just there. Don't fucking walk up to it.
There would be a very minimal, slight inclination to denote walk in this direction. It wouldn't bring you up to it.
No,
it wouldn't even
just
bring
enough to keep you out of the depths of the pool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have another idea.
Great.
Tell us first.
Let's slow your roll there, buddy.
I'm gonna give the old
Snifferoo.
the snifferoo to the dagger there.
Yeah. You hold the dagger aloft in front of Vor's nose. You would not have smelled crude oil before, but to you, it would be incredibly harsh. It would smell for us like gasoline. Not the exact same because there's additional additive properties that get added into gasoline specifically. But it would have a very harsh smell.
I'm trying to think if that smell would come across. Like, we know what that smells like every day. Like, if I told you what it was, we could all smell it in our own brains.
It smelled like poison.
It would also, to you guys, smell like tar. You would have encountered tar in certain locations in the world. It would smell to you like pitch or tar.
Okay.
That's
good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Felix. You got a light? Move your arm with the knife. Light that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pull out my tinder box and just fuck it. Just
fuck it.
Fuck it, bro. We in Philly now starting fires.
Yeah.
What's up with the super Philly accent?
Yeah.
Fucking, it's cold.
It would spark. Obviously, the oil that is still clinging to the blade itself would instantly catch fire, lick, wrap around the edges of the blade for where the oil is present. It would burn brightly, quickly, and maybe 10, 15 seconds later exhaust the oil that draped around
Flash
it.
and slowly,
Flash
yeah.
and dwindle and feather away.
So before I did that, I was going to ask, you said the fountain was empty, but this offering dish has the...
Yeah,
this is
what
what
has
we...
the oil in it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that happened. Was that what you were expecting?
Only after smelling it.
I'm just going to fly up above the fountain.
Sure.
I'm going to just kind of look down into the offering dish. I'm assuming I'll see what was described with a drop of Nesgrim's blood.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like... Does an aerial view, like... Does it look like a weird symbol? Or anything like that?
Doesn't look like a weird symbol.
Like, if I'm, like, at the center, like, where the offering is, and I kind of look at the shape of the fountain, it's not, like, an odd shape, right?
There's two offering bowls, correct?
Singular offering bowl.
There's the one that's being held and then the one beneath, right? Or
It's
is that
just
the
the
same
one.
one?
That's the
Just
fountain.
this
Okay.
He's holding something up and then there's a bowl underneath.
one.
Oh, what's
Got
up there?
Fuck's sake. Empty palm
Okay.
towards the sky.
I was doing blood math,
I
okay?
know.
It's really important that we know how many people were slaughtered.
I understand.
Enough.
There is a specific number that I do know.
Enough
Question before you get a chance.
So, one sec.
Yeah, go ahead.
From above, it would look like there is a pattern here when you incorporate the shape of the interior pedestal and the shape of his exposed arm.
Okay.
So for you, from above, in the same way in which diamonds and crystalline structures have the natural polygonal shapes for what fill out the embellishments of a crystal, it would look almost like his arm is hooking towards the height of a larger shape and that he is then a diamond held within. So, diamond,
Weird.
it would look like a fucking necklace. So because there is an exterior pattern behind him, it would look like the crook of a V-neck goddamn shirt, and it would look like there is a pendant hanging down, and he is the center head of the pendant.
Oh boy.
That's what the fuck?
Yes,
That's-
your question, Joe.
I mean, I don't know if it's already kind of answered now at this point, but I was going to say, does it look like, because with using magic, you have to, I forget what it's called, but where you do like the hand motions and stuff.
The somatic components.
Does it look like he's doing something in a somatic component?
He
for
might
magic?
be doing something in a somatic component. Like, typically when you're casting a magical spell, you will trace with fingers in the sky various runes and sigils and things like that. It could be very much construed that he is in the midst of casting a spell. He does have all 5 fingers splayed out, but it would still look like that pose. Material component, somatic component
That was
is
my-
a great inference.
I was gonna say, does it look like anything offhand that I could think of? Because I guess if I can't see the actual shape that he's drawing, I wouldn't be able to make the inference. Okay.
His mouth is closed, correct?
In the statue, yes.
Are there any injuries on his body?
No. And for the sake of demonstration of his clothing, he would look like he is in pretty humble attire for what we would know as denizens of Oshuamp for sufficiently long time. He look like he's in priestly robes.
Are his eyes open?
Eyes are open.
Okay.
Like priestly robes or like a toga?
Priestly robes.
Okay.
There's no big O's scraped onto his back. Okay.
Pretty high detail statue.
I mean, reasonably high detailed statue, yeah, absolutely. Again, he's in pretty humble looking clothes, so the detail in it would look like the grooves of the waves of his robes trying to mimic him in motion.
So you look like Nesgrim.
In facial features, comparable. Like, not a mirror of him,
Yeah,
but like...
it's a statue.
Yeah.
But,
again,
like...
For people who, like, the shaping of the ears, the shaping of the jaw, the proportions of the brow, a lot of those things would absolutely be comparable to Nesgrim's facial features.
Does he have like a beard and long hair? Or no?
Nesgrim doesn't have a beard.
I thought Nesgrim had like a short beard.
No.
Just long hair.
This man has not like a long beard, but a reasonably long beard, a few inches, a little bit longer than Don's. Like if you were to have combed your beard out, maybe another like half an inch to an inch of length over Don's beard.
He's a crazy man.
So long
What
as the
would you
Don
use
shorter
him
than
to do
Lawrence's. Yeah, got it.
Right in between these two.
I don't know if you have a spell that can do that.
Yeah, I definitely do.
So good.
I'll message it to you.
Can't speak to statue. Who are you?
I would
Or-
have shared the necklace back with everyone.
I'll just say it out loud. Tinderbox.
You have a tinderbox. Absolutely.
Necklace. Man suspended in
Felix is
Yeah.
flying high above the statue, looks down at it, would demonstrate, like, holy shit, like,
That's
looks-
some good architecture.
yeah, looks like it's a necklace. Nesgrim is standing here, also pulls out a tinderbox after having seen our tinderbox experiment and goes, fuck yeah.
For what it's worth, I was gonna do it before that happened.
Sure.
Hey, we're there, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey.
In the chronology of events, it's they're lighting a tinderbox, you're lighting a tinderbox, he's flying up in the air,
This is a powder keg.
crazy shit's happening.
wanna
This is a
reiterate, I'm not the
substantial amount of oil. Thariel's
Out of the fountain.
out of the fountain.
I'm backing
Out
off.
of the fountain.
Sure. You spark and ignite and illuminate this bowl. So when you hit the tinderbox and the spark strikes the surface of the oil, in the same way that you saw the actual oil, kind of like the heat, trail out from the point of the contact of the spark, you see that happen as well here in this communal bowl. When that burned, it burnt traditionally, shades of blue and orange as the amount of oxygen in the area varied. When you hit the bowl with the spark, it burns red for a very brief moment before instantaneously turning to a jet black plumage of flame.
Fuck that.
Okay.
Starts billowing smoke up above, stays ignited. I don't know if anybody wants to do anything.
I'm gonna yell at Nesgrim. Hey,
What?
that's not fucking good. And I'm gonna grab the small little pouch of salt that I have
Sure.
and chuck it to him. Sprinkle it.
Okay.
It cleanses.
Got it.
Sure.
Anything like when it first ignited, is there anything engraved closer to like his chest? Any symbols, like maybe a necklace or like a thing that's on his person? Anything like that?
So, he's...
Now that it's better lit by the bowl.
He's not wearing anything that's adorning him. He does not have jewelry. His clothing is not marked with any sigils. Again, he's wearing humble...
Sure.
In life would have been beige-colored robes. Like, he would have been wearing a lot of neutral browns. Nothing that signifies who this man is adorns him or on his attire.
Okay.
Black flame. Still burning.
I'll sprinkle some salt in it.
Sure, absolutely. You throw a handful of salt into it. It singes, and the salt goes up in flames as it hits the edges of the flame. It stays black.
That's really nice. Ritora's gonna try to pull Nesgrim out of the fountain.
There's a snow leopard in the fountain.
I was just getting ready to walk out of the fountain.
Snow leopard, yeah, like biting you, actually.
Yeah, after I do that and nothing notable happens, I would just turn and walk away.
Nothing notable.
Does the smoke billowing up?
Not all puzzles are going to be
Sure.
It's not going to
immediate, just I do a thing and there is a resolution.
I don't mean nothing notable as in that didn't work. Nothing notable as in like there's no reason for me to keep standing there right now. I don't know if, yeah.
Absolutely.
Does the black fire produce any light?
No.
Does it produce the opposite of light?
No. It just
Interesting.
seems to be a strange black flame.
So no glow, just a visual phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking cool.
Heat?
As a family that worked with magic, right? Do I recall there
like
ever
that.
being something happen or a spell that was cast where black flame was used?
True.
Well, not by you.
Sure, but like, did I ever experience like my family members using?
I would say
something?
your aunt notoriously would have utilized magic that would have produced a black flame.
Which I can kind of infer means that this is something in relation to.
Possibly.
A nice lady.
Is there any heat off this black flame?
If you were to move close to it, no.
Do you share that fun fact with us?
Yeah, I'll share it with everybody.
I like it.
So my aunt used to dabble in magic, and she created flames that looked similar to that.
Your Aunt Laverna.
Yes.
Say her name.
History check.
Yeah.
Say her name when you speak
Real
to
quick,
him.
can I retcon a thing?
What?
Before I walked away?
Put your face in it?
No, I wouldn't put my face in it.
Bowl?
Can I retcon my name?
I have a shard of obsidian out of the mosaic. I would have dropped that in it.
Oh god.
After having illuminated it, yeah? Yeah. Well, they're speaking, you turn to walk away. I'll say that you stop. Turn back around, think to yourself, what if this? I'll resolve your history check real quick, just so this way we don't forget.
Okay, it's fuck. 19.
19.
God damn it.
Specifically on the concept of black flame being produced from a magical spell, or it not producing heat, or not producing light. Like, is there anything in particular like you're looking for?
I mean, it was produced by seemingly non-magical means.
Correct. It was physical means that produced this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I guess in terms of physical means, not magical.
So,
like, and if there is no example of physical, I would then
the assumption for you would be traditionally mineral compositions and other things for what is being burnt will change the color of the flame.
Right.
He put his blood in.
Right. So then that would lead me to what magical properties? Because it's definitely not fucking normal.
It's definitely not normal. There would not be a magical property that would come to mind for you for what would produce flame like this. Again, there's no heat, there's no glow, it's specifically black, and it's remaining inflamed.
Could you remind me any adjectives that our friendly NPCs have called him?
Oh.
Me?
Yeah, I know, like white bone, but there was other ones that Camilla, I think, said, right?
Oh yeah.
Didn't she call him like, not like tainted, but something else, right?
Yeah, she called him a corrupted soul.
A corrupted soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Black flame.
He's doing something.
Yeah.
You stop, turn back, pull out small piece, turn, toss back into fire, into flame. As it hits the black flame itself, before striking the oil, you would see the exterior of it smolder and melt and become almost like slag as it goes back in.
Almost like what's in the bowl currently.
Almost like what's in the bowl currently. You threw obsidian into the black flame and it melted.
Melted how?
Like slag.
Like slag? So what you
So
mean?
when lava starts to cool, or when you have runoff of liquid fire, when you're working at a blacksmith or a forge, slag is what you get as the runoff of the byproduct.
Is it chunky still, or is it completely?
It would look, so like again, it's a very small fucking shard.
Right.
When it hits the flame is like, say, this high. When it hits the peak of the flame, he would see it slowly go down in.
Okay.
Smolder the exterior of it like the ring in Lord of the Rings when it starts to fucking have the writing appear.
Right.
Smolder red around the edges as it hits the lower portions of the black flame. It would turn to slag. So like it would look like when magma starts to get the black texture as it cools.
Right. Okay.
Hit the oil and incorporate into the oil.
With no change to the flame color, correct?
No change to the flame color whatsoever.
Is this flame similar to the flame that was kind of around the scary fucking shadow elemental that we fought in Felfarthen?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that's a fucking problem, guys. We gotta go.
And you said the obsidian now blends. It looks like it completely.
When it
the same.
slags, it incorporates in
Same
composition.
Well, there's my fire to case the dagger.
Especially having heard that Laverna has done similar things with black fire. Am I familiar in any of my teachings with any rituals or spells that involved black fire? Because I don't specifically, but if there were other things that my elder might have done.
No.
Nothing. Okay.
No.
Interesting.
Would not have been used in what you were doing.
Okay.
Nothing else happens?
Nothing happens to you.
Not to me.
Nothing happens to you. Nothing happens to the statue.
Okay.
You are correct in that there is a puzzle here. Like I'll give you that as the DM to a player. I don't want to discourage you.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel like these are not at least ideas contextually in a way that is building a narrative. What you're doing is building why this statue is here.
Yeah.
You could try your blood again. If the salt's not going to cleanse it, maybe you can.
Either that, throw the coin in. It is an offering bowl.
That's a really good idea.
What is the coin made
I tossed
from?
the coin in.
What is the coin made out of?
Silver.
Platinum.
Jesus Christ, why? Why would you do that? My money now! It's worth 10 gold!
You're standing here still right in front of the collection bowl.
Probably-ish, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you would have like turned and like I don't think you're like Kobe in the fucking obsidian end. It's a dust fragment. Like it's going nowhere.
It's Trevi Fountain over the shoulder.
Yeah. As you're standing here, and you turn with this platinum coin in your hand, I'll tell you that sufficient time has passed. There's a reason the eyes are open on the statue. You see at the bottom of the statue welling up, as though crying, red tears begin to trail down the face.
Oh, red.
We're going to end there.
Oh, God. Oh. The Seraph's cry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hark the Seraph's cry.
Yeah, I didn't want you to cry in the fountain because of that.
We gotta find
That was,
Seraphina.
truthfully, that was coming next.
It also did warn you to avoid the Seraph's cry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we need to leave.
That's what hark is. Hark.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what if we trace the true name in the center? What happens with that? Is that cool? All right.
Oh, boy.
After the combat.
Shit.
We have to go.
Did I succeed in throwing the coin in? No, right? I didn't get there yet?
I would say you would be throwing the coin in as you would see it crying for the sake of just so this way you can know. The coin would hit the black flame. You would see it start to singe around the metal. It would sink in. The answer was not the coin. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. It was the cursed dildo.
It was you.
It was you. It was your blood. It's just a timed experience.
Oh!
It needs a Christoch's blood.
And I just was impatient and just started throwing other shit in until I figured out what worked. Neat. Yep. That sounds like something I would do.
Yes, it very much was. You looked at me and you were like,
Now what?
what happened? And I'm like, fucking black flame, it's spooky. Well, now I do this. Well, then I do that. Well, okay.
As somebody who's built furniture with DJ, that's exactly how that works. Why isn't it a thing yet?
Why isn't it together?
What I was hoping was that there would be like a extremely notable thing that happened, and then an extremely notable thing did happen.
Well,
there's gonna be.
Yeah.
You're about to get
This
fucking
is an
murked.
enormous problem.
It's probably worth mentioning that Ritor was actively
In the fountain, pulling him away as he's turning around and doing this.
Continue, like, one more thing.
I'm actively above the fountain.
Yep.
Boo.
I found the first thing with my last name on it, figured my blood was important.
I thought
You're not wrong.
once you said black flame, I thought you were gonna be like, who's blinking?
It sure is.
Wait, did a virgin light the candle?
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
He's a 50-year-old virgin.
Straight to jail.
Dude, how cool's that pendant shit though?
That is really
The
good.
fucking the shaping of the statue to actually give you the bird's eye view for it holding itself aloft.
Yeah, that's wild. That's really good.
Yeah, I was gonna true sight, but I guess no point now. I guess.
Well, thank you guys for watching and for being here once again. Weirdly enough, we will be live on Friday for the Lost Kings of Adoras. For the first time in a while, we will be live.
What?
We won't be live the next Friday, but we will be live this one.
We will not be playing Kirby.
We will not be playing Kirby this Thursday, but
Because
we will be
you're
live
getting
on Friday for Adoras, as I've said.
Don't get greedy.
And then we will be live next... Yeah, don't get greedy. You get 2 nights. And we will be live next Monday for the City of Oshuamp once again before the glorious Thanksgiving week. So... Just generally, I don't know.
Delicious thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat a lot of turkey.
Delicious?
Same.
Did you say malicious?
Yeah.
Malicious Thanksgiving week. Yeah, thank you guys very much. Thank you for the follows and for hanging out and everything. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 hour earlier than we started tonight for the Lost Kings of Adoras. I just remembered that that's a thing. So that's great that I did. Goodbye.
Bye, friends.
Night.
Elevators aren't real.